a huge challenge. Quite dangerous to go against the defending champions, and here they are. It's Team Spirit. Team Spirit, Yutoro, Toronto, Tokyo, Collapse, Mirror, and Maposhka had a somewhat, wouldn't say super rough year, but they are a team that can go all the way, and they could be the first team to go all the way through the lower bracket to the grand finals. A lot of people still think that. I'd be interested, panel, is this a team that can do it? Can they do a back-to-back?
Yeah, 100%. I think the main reason why they're in the lower bracket is, first of all, props to Team Spirit. They're doing this additional Twitter content where after a series, they'll do little interviews with the players and they'll say why did you lose this TI group stage game? And then they're like, yeah, the draft was really bad. And it's just so nice seeing the insight during TI. And I think they haven't found their TI kind of rhythm and identity. And if you find that at any point in the lower bracket, that can carry the entire way. And this team, of course, has the caliber to do that at any point.
They don't shy away from saying what was wrong.
Yeah.
Like, if the draft was bad, they'll say, we just drafted poorly. It was bad. If someone played poorly out of 5 of them, they will pinpoint that person out as well. It's a strange attitude. It's very honest, but at the same time, it works.
But it also sounds like, despite being TI winners, it's no ego.
No.
Because if you can have that conversation with your teammate, that's amazing. Because otherwise, you could have breakdown in communication. We've talked about teams not being on the same page when they're trying to do stuff in the group stages coming here. But it seems no ego for Team Spirit, despite being TI champs.
Team Spirit are great, sorry. They, you listen to Mirror speak, and I think it was him saying that he had imposter syndrome for a little while because, people were rough to him in pubs and you doubt yourself and you're just not sure. It really feels like they don't have that ego, so I completely agree. I'm very happy for this team and how they've been doing.
By the way, you've been following SCA, Sheep,
yes.
right? Is there any ego there?
Is there ego there? That's hard to say. The players are very, easy going.
You're being very nice.
Yeah.
No,
why are you
I don't think they do.
Please answer the question.
What a question to throw at me. Let me just hype up my boys, Boom. This is my favorite C team.
We want to know a little bit about Boom.
Okay. This team, first of all, starting from the bottom, they struggled, right? The group stage, we saw them destroying these early games and then throwing. It's a problem I feel like they have had the entire year. They tend to kind of not respect their own timings very well. If they're 600 gold off of BKB, they might go and fight anyway and then die and set themselves back. So they're laning very good, but they really struggle to solidify their discipline in the mid to late game.
But still, even though from SEA, they are buying the BKB.
Yeah, I mean, if you got to get to the BKB to be able to use it, which is, their biggest problem there.
If there is one player on that team that actually deserves to have an ego, that might be Scam. Because this guy has been playing in SCA for a really long time. From position 1 to position 5, he literally makes any team work. In the last seasons as well, I believe he did miss the last TI, but he came with new energy, and look at him. He had a hat. He takes that hat off. I believe he shaved his head. Is that the Yatoro move?
It is. He's going for that move. The fact that, Boom, they have not as much experience, nearly any, for TI. The first time this organization has got to TI is this one. Tim's is the only player with TI experience, so...
But they've got Mushi as coach.
Yeah, exactly. So they're leaning on a couple key individuals to unlock everyone else, where Spirit, they're like, yeah, guys, last year, we won it. So the fact that you have a best of one, the polar opposites of experience, it feels
and it's kind of, reminiscent of, the last match. Beast Coast, the lower bracket Grim Reapers, Hikori new to the stage. You've got Team Spirit, who've done everything, through a TI kind of series, in terms of getting to the grand finals and lifting the Aegis. And Boom Spirit, are you nervous for them if you're a fan of Boom Spirit?
Yeah, and don't forget the winner.
Boom Esports, sorry.
Don't worry.
Not Boom Spirit.
I thought you were just mashing up the series. I was respecting it. It was cool.
There's so much Dota today, it's just all merging into one.
And no matter what, the winner of this series then has to play against PSG. So if Spirit win, we get last year's TI finals in lower bracket round 2. If Boom win, then they have to play back TI finalists round after round. And if they overcome both, then that's a whole new storyline being written. But yeah, Boom.
But we won't be doing the draft, obviously, so we don't get to do kind of predictions. But if you were to think of predictions, just seeing these teams from the group stages, Team Spirit went 1-7-1, Boom Esports went 1-3-5, but they did beat Evil Geniuses. They were the team that took them out, and that was one of their later games. So that's still some momentum, right, going on to the main stage, or do you think they lost that?
There's definitely momentum. At the same time, these best of ones are so difficult to predict. I would still lean Team Spirit.
But that is kind of why you're here. But
I'll predict. It's a different boom win, guys.
Not being able to predict is a good answer as an analysis.
The fans win. That's the easy answer, right?
Oh, true. Well, I think Boom, never count them out. They are so scary. The way they can run over their lanes. Like, I think you look at Spirit and how strong like Collapse is. When you look at Boom, it's Yopaj. They make their entire team revolve around trying to make Yopaj shine and carry. Like, FBZ is well happy to just play a sacrificial offlane game, rush that blink, not farm as much, and Yopaj just goes ham. And you enable him properly, that's how they win.
Yeah, and when you look at Jackie, like, he's improved quite a bit since his Tier 1 era, right? Like, as a carry, he's become even more stable, so...
Excellent. Well, thank you very much, panelists. And we will be heading into the draft, getting ready for Game 1, and over to our commentators. Enjoy.
Boom Esports versus Team Spirit.
Thank you so much again. You wonderful panel all the way out there. Now we have another elimination match right on our hands here, and it's the crowd favorite, the home favorite, Boom, from Southeast Asia. They have looked like the best team out of this region this entire year, but at this TI, it's been a little bit of struggle, a little bit of back and forth from them.
1% to make it here?
1%.
They are the 1%, turns out. Yeah, it was Boom all along.
That's crazy. So for anybody that doesn't know, in group stages, it was down to the very last day for them, and they had 1% chance of moving on. They were able to close it out with a little bit of help from their friends, and now they're here. Looking at this draft, do you think that they've got what it takes to take down the defending champions, Team Spirit?
They have momentum. I think they're like tweeting. They're like, "Oh, GG guys, sorry." And they're here now. They're feeling good. You climb up from the grave. You're ready to win. Yeah. I think they're going to go into this with a really good mentality.
Oh, you know what's cooking?
It's Boom.
That's right. That's right. No, it's true. And the other thing that's super interesting about this is that it's kind of that dynamic, whereas Team Spirit, it's got to feel crazy. I mean, obviously, when they won TI last year, they came from a huge lower bracket run themselves. But this has been a team throughout this year, when we've been seeing them in the DPC, that sometimes loses that first game, and it takes them a couple to get going, to figure out their opponents, and then come together with a solid draft. I've seen so many Team Spirit games where they've been down one set and then come back and win the next two. They can't do that here.
No, well, they're also the previous major champions, of course, so a little bit weird to see them down here.
Previous TI, previous major.
Yep.
It's everything, and it's going to take a Herculean effort from Boom to take it down here. But already into this one, we've got a collection of bans. Doom, and then into the Enigma. Primal Beast taken out, left untouched last game.
Marcy's still in the pool. We probably will see it get banned. A lot of teams are just, at this point, just giving it up, throwing it away. Enigma's banned.
Ooh. Get rid of the Undying instead.
This Marcy? Is this a simple see Marcy unban, pick it 5, move on with your day?
It does feel that way. I mean, I will say, like, Collapse, in terms of like the heroes that you tend to think of for Collapse, I can understand why they don't want to play versus Undying.
Yeah.
You know, it kind of wrecks his entire pool.
10 seconds.
His pool is also, Mars has had a rough TI, I think.
Yeah.
That's what he's saying. For even Magnus, I've seen some teams try to run it as a mid, more so than an offlane, but
he's never been known for like the zoo compared to other offenses, right? Like, he's not really an Enigma player, you know. Compared to like, it's like so far down on his list compared to every other offlane player who just really wants to get those big juicy black holes.
There we go. It is going to be the Marcy indeed. Mushi deciding that that's going to be their hero for them. Not a bad way to start a draft. This hero just has initiation. It's got buff up for your other carries. Because I consider Marcy a carry at this point, no matter what position she's played in.
Yeah, so it also sets up Shadow Fiend isn't banned yet. So if Spirit don't pick it, maybe there's an 8 Shadow Fiend.
How many games does Shadow Fiend need to lose, just so we're clear, before we stop bringing that up?
Ooh.
Well, this is I think Secret did this, right? Earlier today, the Nyx Lush. Yeah, good success. They 2-0 LGD. Really stable heroes, especially when you 6-7 it can flex between mid and carry. You get to see everything when you pick your heroes, so you can just pick strong lanes so the Leshrac gets to farm his Bloodstone, hits his timings, and this Nyx, this hero's crazy.
So why is Leshrac first phaseable now compared to the past?
The Bloodstone change.
Yeah.
There's the Shadow Fiend. The Bloodstone change kind of makes it so you have a timing where you don't die in the fights.
Yeah. It's so early too.
People buy Arcane Boots now instead of the Boots to travel, so then they can break their Arcane Boots, build this Bloodstone, and has this really strong mid-game timing where it kind of gets on top of all these ranged heroes that people want to pick, like the Shadow Fiend, and just kills them instantly.
Well, we talked a little bit about this being an option that Secret ran, but also Nyx Assassin has just been a menace in these group stages. I think it had something like a 30 some odd, maybe 40 picks with a 70% win rate roughly. Kind of unheard of at these stages, but just an incredibly strong hero, and we'll be looking to set up those Spike Carapace hits likely onto the Shadow Fiend at later dates. We'll have to watch for that.
Yeah, the stun got buffed, so it has more range, so you're always getting caught out. There's been so many 3-man stuns.
Yeah,
every day I see at least like 2 or 3 clips of a Nyx, and they're like, Nyx Ravage.
Yeah,
right.
3 heroes dead. And so they're gonna ban the Morph. We saw Morph for Shadow Fiend. Looks really hard matchup. They're banning it as well. The 18 Morph, really scary slot to pick this hero in. Team Spirit's gonna pick more heroes that walk at them. They're going to probably ban, I'd see a Pango ban, the Kunkka ban for the similar reason. They want the Lesh to be able to walk in and not kind of hit a wall.
Yeah, it felt like in the past you had to protect your Leshrac so much. You're like finding like your oracles or something like that to try and enable the hero. But with the strength the hero seems to have now, you just kind of want to watch it for a couple counter picks and it still feels so good.
On the flip side, generally Shadow Fiend's a pretty strong hero versus Lesh when people put it in the mid lane. So I would be surprised if they put in the safe lane, but it doesn't really feel like a Yotaro hero. I feel like he wants to play more.
That'd be pretty weird.
Like right clickers, less spellcasters rather. And
although to be fair, it doesn't really strike me as a Toronto Tokyo hero either. In terms of how I imagine him playing Dota the way
he's like a spirit, right? He always wants to play Void, Ember, get in there, puck. So
it'll be interesting to watch, and with another couple of bans out here, I think one of the dynamics that we're going to see different from Shadow Fiend this game is that you actually have that Marcy in tow to buff him up. Whereas before we saw PL able to just sort of out-carry that Shadow Fiend. In this game, you're going to have a sidekick. The bonus damage, the lifesteal can just rip people to shreds. So that'll be something to watch for there.
The nice thing about Marcy is you pick it early, and some games this Marcy destroys, crushes her lane, she gets a BKB, she kills your carry even though she's a 5. It's like good for you, but even in the worst games, if you pick her with a Shadow Fiend, all she has to do is press sidekick off cooldown, you're happy.
Yep.
All you need is the sidekick sometimes, and good enough.
Well, another round of bans, a lot of mid heroes taken out of the pool, the Terrorblade and the Morphling, and then we saw, of course, the Dawnbreaker, which has been a real menace, and Kunkka Ember. So still a couple of those mid heroes in the pool. Team Spirit having that last pick, you anticipate that that might be looked at later. Although there's still that question of where is this Leshrac going to go.
I think a lot of these bans, it looks like they just did research this morning. The Morph for Shadow Fiend ban, the Dawn with the Lesh ban, watch some Secret, watch some Yuji.
They're sitting in here checking out the games, but Team Spirit took care of the draw themselves. That's a hero they've used versus the Shadow Fiend before as well, and trying to find that little bit of a distance.
So they're probably going to try to pick a hero that will deal with the Marcy, unless they want the Nyx to lane the Marcy, which a little iffy. You can die to these messages even as the Nyx.
Yeah. Does anyone deal with Marcy, Any 5, have a fun time.
The one thing is Sniper's still in the pool. I could see them trying to go for a Sniper on 18 on the side of Spirit. So maybe they're going to pick something that bodies for this Sniper. It's a good versus Shadow Fiend. Even though Marcy has so much range, I think Sniper just has more.
Well, the Lich. I mean, we've seen this as well. And talking about this morning, right? Like you got Marcy, you got Shadow Fiend. So.
Shadow Fiend generally just goes physical damage these days. We've seen a couple. I think Nothing to Say did an Arcane Blink SF the other day.
Yeah. I think Last Chance Qualifier had quite a few as well, like more magic based.
There's some mixture, but generally right now the standards, you go Dragonlance, you go BKB, you go like Mask of Menace 2, you go Butterfly Satanic, Daedalus. Call it a day.
All those mid players went to carry. Finally, they're so happy.
Yes. This is the same with Templar.
Yeah.
So long ago.
Wow. And boom, they're going to be the ones to take the Mars instead. So FBZ will be picking it up along with the Disruptor in tow.
Okay.
A very different look to this draft than I was anticipating. Another one of those heroes that just kind of feels like it's a little bit out of place. What are they seeing that they like about this Mars?
I see a sad Leshrac.
Okay.
They're picking a lot of circles to make the Lesh die when he walks forward.
Actually,
Big circle good. That's what we're hearing. This is the high level analysis you came for.
Yeah. Now we just need a Faceless Void in here. We'll chuck that down somewhere.
Yeah, the big thing is versus Lesh, you need to make sure he can't run away.
Okay.
He has to be stationed, because Shadow Fiend will destroy him. If he gets 3 seconds just hitting him, and that's kind of what Mars provides. It provides a fighting ground where you can kill one hero. And the Disruptor is also, I think it's just good versus both of the supports. Nyx, even if he it's kind of similar to Puck. You silence the Nyx, and even though you get stunned on the spike, he can't follow up stun on you. So silence is generally good versus the Nyx to the Lich.
It'll be interesting to watch. The other dynamic, of course, on top of that sort of physical mitigation that you get with the Lich, that Frost Shield, is we've seen some like really solid Chain Frost games that the spell just looks absolutely insane, particularly if you can get that shard throwing the Ice Spire down, and then it can just bounce and you can solo kill somebody.
I think something really cool with the Mars as well is something we talk about a lot is the Shadow Fiend is just kind of a tower. And so you want to pick, a lot of the time you either have to pick something that gets on top of him and stands on him like a Lifestealer, or you pick the opposite where you pick a Sniper, a Zeus, you pick these long-range heroes that he can never hit. So Mars, I think, kind of, the idea of it is to counter the Sniper.
Yeah, it like removes them from the pool.
You make it so that they have to be able to fight him, and these mid-range heroes like Gyro, Luna, Shadow Fiend just beats in those fights. So Team Spirit picked the Lifestealer, really nice lane versus Mars. Kind of commits the Lush to mid. We have seen Leshrac offlane, I believe.
Yeah.
I know Resolution played it at least once.
Other nice thing that we can sometimes see there is, you know, Lesh is gained down relatively low HP. Suddenly you infest, gets popped back up, and when you thought you might be able to kill the Lesh, he's able to survive through it.
So this is the only question left in the draft is Shadow Fiend going mid or safe lane? Because Team Spirit have the overall last pick. So Boom has to commit, all right, are we okay with Leshrac going offlane and counter-picking mid? I would say so, yes. Shadow Fiend is kind of one of the best laners. You just kind of throw them there. They get 2 bans as well.
Yeah. Fast one.
And generally also the things that beat Shadow Fiend in the lane aren't that happy with a Lesh. They're the longer range spellcasters like a Zeus or a Lina or an Invoker. And Shadow Fiend, or Lesh wants to play with more of a Spirit, a run-in, a stun, like a Mars, a Sand King, an Ember. These heroes that go in for him so he can wait till it's opportune time in the fight.
Speaking of that, Boom's lineup looking very well balanced right now. I feel like they check off a lot of boxes. They have good team fight, they have pretty good objective taking, early initiation is there as well from like the Marcy, so they have a lot of options for this last pick. I feel like it is really just like lane secure. That I just want to make sure my lanes are good if I'm Boom.
I think that the 2 biggest things right now I feel like in this game for both teams is, are you strong enough in lanes so you don't get crushed in lanes and feel bad? And are you strong enough to team fight? So when the game goes late, you're not stressed out.
Yeah.
Because all right now they have to do is just try to not be stressed, try to just play the game. Spirit, we know, they've been there.
Yeah.
They've probably been very stressed.
Boom's team fight looks like so good, and Team Spirit's team fight is just like this kind of like random array of spells right now.
The biggest thing is that this Lifestealer looks unkillable to some extent. If he gets Rage off, there's no damage. The Mars does nothing, the supports do nothing, the Shadow Fiend, the Lich, right? The Lich is going to make it so the Shadow Fiend does nothing.
They removed our circle.
There it is, the one they needed, the Faceless Void, and you know, you talk about ways to kill a Lifestealer, that traditionally has been a pretty interesting matchup. So taking that away now, and Boom, one last pick for themselves. They did see True Sight, they decided to ban the Magnus. It's not going to get picked up in this last round.
I think a nice pick would be a safe lane Slardar. It has been run a little.
That would be so sick, actually.
They can even go an aggro lane with the Slardar versus the Lifestealer.
And try and lane versus them.
Oh,
Something a little bit more classic.
So it's a either carry Mars or mid Mars.
I'm pretty sure that's a mid Mars.
Interesting.
We'll see what they decide to go for.
Similar idea. It's something to go through BKB, stuns the Lifestealer. Should lane well versus the Lifestealer. I've actually seen that lane go both ways. Now that the boars don't slow through BKB.
Yes, yeah.
So he can just press Rage, kill the boars. And Spirit, now they get to see everything. They don't know who's playing what, but now they get to say Leshrac's going offlane, Leshrac's going mid. I think this kind of sets up for a Spirit hero. Maybe a Void could be okay, or
some sort of like glue here. I don't know. I feel like I want like a Darkseer Escuro or something, some sort of like a team. I don't know if I want Darkseer, but you know, something that
nobody wants Darkseer.
Yeah,
let's be real.
That hero's a bit rough, but
something like that could be really cool.
Very bold one right now, I would say, is OD.
Where is that hero? I thought hero was going to be
Collapse has been playing it a little.
Yeah, I saw him in pubs.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's not that good. But if there was a crazy hero right now that Team Spirit would pick, it would be OD.
It's best of one.
I will say the switch up here with Beastmaster last. Incredible amount of push, and there you go, Gunnar. You call it out, OD. What do you like about this hero in this instance? What's the big appeal here?
It gives save for the Roar, it gives save for the Arena, it gives save for the Disruptor. You can dodge Glimpse with Astral on yourself. Even the Marcy, you can kind of just stop the fights from happening. So it's pretty much, they're playing to be, it's a fight break.
Yeah.
You pause, it's kind of a mini Song of the Siren in a sense where you kind of slow the fight down. And Boom, when you play with Mars, you play with Shadow Fiend, these heroes have spells. They hit the BKBs, they hit the Arena. That's their fight. They want to win the fight in that duration. Those 6 seconds, those 8 seconds. And OD is really good at making the fight last 15 seconds, 20 seconds, and that's where the Lifestealer is going to get multiple rages off. That's where the Leshrac gets stuns off. He's trying to make a long fight happen.
Yeah, I feel like Boom want this one moment like you're talking about, whereas like Team Spirit, everything can just be so much more spaced out. They have pick off, right? They have like little setups of Astral into like little Nyx assassin stuns, the damage there from the Leshrac. You can like sort of make these little pairings from Team Spirit and get these pick offs all over the map right now.
Well, you can see the Aegis there. Team Spirit wanting to continue to defend that if they can maintain their spot in this tournament. Mushi, the team, they have put together the draft, and now he has to walk away as the players will have to play this one out. One match, one of these teams eliminated. Southeast Asia versus Eastern Europe, and it all came down to a last pick Outworld Destroyer, hoping to set their sights onto the future, but we're getting ready to go into this game number 1, the only one that we got.
Did you have to check and read just to make sure that was still his name?
World Destroyer. It changes around a little bit. That's fair.
His spells change around a little bit too, so make sure you're updated on the current spells on that hero.
The other thing that stands out to me that I'm really curious about is this Beastmaster pick. Have they upped the tempo of the draft? Like that, this looks like a very aggro draft from the side of Boom. Like they can start moving around the map, taking buildings incredibly quickly.
Yeah, the Shadow Fiend himself is known. He gets the aura on towers. The towers have -7 armor, but add a Beastmaster with that, you kind of start taking rows, you take towers. I think they're hitting to play for team fights. You may make it an unkillable ball. They walk at towers, they fight, and I think the biggest thing they have to deal with and/or worry about in this game is the Lifestealer. If they can kill the Lifestealer, they're going to win these fights. If he gets roared, he gets static stormed and astral. I think one thing that I'm not 100% sure on that might happen is if you astral the Lifestealer, I think he might be able to rage before he gets silenced by the Disruptor roll. So the OD might be really nice to always make sure that the Lifestealer gets rage off. And he's still unkillable with rage. They have nothing for rage right now.
Well, as they head out across the map, the smoke up, they're ready to go. Jackie, a whole host of little items there. And the thing that I want to watch for is how do these early lanes set up? Is there any sort of dynamic in the mid matchup? The Mars versus Lesh feels very strange to me.
Mars used to be really strong. His laning now has been nerfed a lot thanks to all the offlaners who, would just crush the lane. So now
they ruined the hero?
Yeah, they ruined it. It's like same with Pugna. Pugna was really good mid, and now the support's ruined it for us.
Or you mid laners.
Yeah. You guys have it so rough in that mid lane,
But the nice thing is Mars is able to... The level 6s on mid are really strong for the supports to come. That's when it's 4, 5, 6 minutes. They come mid, and Arena is one of the best spells to come mid to. And killing the Lush when he hits your tower with Arena is really easy. So I would say that the lane itself is fairly even, but it matters more so after the lane when the supports rotate.
Dude, the board just died.
They move on in. Yopaj kind of in no man's land. Mira there getting set up with the stun. They got him caught and collapse. Drawing first blood, Team Spirit. They're on deck first.
The big one. He now has tangos in his inventory on the OD. Go a little greedy, so now he's a little... Mira's probably happy that he doesn't have to ferry him all the region in the lane.
Moves on in, throws out the stun, and that gets them another bounty rune. So Team Spirit looking to secure 3 to the 1 of Boom. FBZ the only one that was able to pick that one up.
Nice.
Nice. Okay. Good.
So 2 for 1. Could be worse.
Well done with that boar.
I think the big thing in this game is, again, it's going to be level 6 on the Mars mid, whether there's a play on the Siege mid, whether there's a kill in the Lesh or not. And then I think the OD will be pretty interesting to see how they play around him, whether they constantly go to him or they try to make him sit there to force the Shadow Fiend out of the lane.
Yeah, or even like moves with him as well, like potentially sets up for some of their other heroes. And then you have to keep an eye on this Leshrac too, because if the Leshrac isn't moving, then sometimes you just lose your tower if you go for this big play with the Arena and you miss or something.
Those early rotations that we've seen, things get a little bit spicy in there, and we've seen a couple of teams prioritize this mid-tier 1 tower over that safe lane tower a couple of times as well. We'll have to watch for where the movements go to. As Tim's will try and do some zoning back here onto Collapse. You mentioned earlier that one of the big worries was, do you just lose your lane outright? How does OD do in this lane?
In the mid lane, Shadow Fiend is generally good versus OD, because you can just press raise and he has to walk away. And the nice thing is his stats are very strong on OD, so even just as a hero, he has high movement speed, he has 320, he has good damage. So I would say he's probably going to lose relatively early, but once he starts getting the level 3, level 4 range where he has Astral, he'll be able to just pump out the damage. It got buffed last patch, so now it's an 18-second cooldown on the Astral level 1. And it's 120 damage for pretty much free. You don't have mana on this.
It's such a different spell in the side lane too, because like you can actually like fully wrap around. You can like completely surround someone when you Astral them on a side lane compared to the mid lane where the tower's there to help you.
And interesting there, he's going for the Arcane Orb and the Essence Flux build. So opting to just keep more pressure on throwing out those orbs consistently against, I guess, Marcy in lane. Kind of cool.
It's just nice
to keep pulling lanes.
So he can pretty much guarantee last hits. It's like 50 pure damage, so it's really hard to mess up the last hits. And this is going to be a start when he's maxing it, because he can still get it maxed by level 7. And the level 1 of the spell's not as good compared to the orb.
Again, interrupted a little bit there. Now trying to pull the creep wave back over and connect them. Does look like he's going to be able to get a couple. But Tim's doing a really good job of being annoying. It has tended to be his role on this team. Try and frustrate the enemy offlaner to the best of their ability or whoever he's facing off against.
And he is in, I would say, his best role, right? This early initiator, definitely where Tim's tends to shine. If it's like
the melee heroes, right?
Yeah, the melees, the touches, the clockwork, something like that. Or Ruben. I mean, we'll give him one range.
There you go.
And on the other side of the map, top, I think this lane is going to be fairly chill. This Beastmaster, again, it's similar to the PL from the last game. They pick this not to
Radiant's courier has been
destroy the lane, they pick it as more of a game counter. So even if they go even in the lane...
That was nasty.
Yeah.
Oh, man. All right,
so it's not just sidekick that makes this good. I see. Okay.
Yeah.
Good combo.
Jeez.
A lot of spells that do a lot of things on this hero.
Yeah.
Stuns, slows, displacement, movement speed.
So far, across all the lanes, looking pretty good. A slight advantage for each of these Boom heroes over their counterparts in the lane. And we'll see if, Team Spirit, oftentimes these lineups that they built.
Gonna find a courier.
Yeah, that's a little interesting.
All right,
cool.
Happens to the best of us.
He probably clicked it somewhere under the tower to hide it, because it was on the way back. I don't think I had anything on it.
No, it was empty, yeah.
Now he's telling Yatoro, please don't feed these boots. We need the boots to crush the lane. Skem's going to make a move for the 4-minute water rune. These 4-minute runes are really important. A lot of the time when the matchups are relatively close, if you don't get a water rune, it starts to get very hard. And the Lesh uses a lot of mana, so you're going to lose out a water rune.
Yeah, gonna big stacks at the same time too, so the big efficiencies here from Skem.
Yeah, that is going to be a huge injection of gold for them later if they want to farm that up with either FBZ or for that Shadow Fiend. We'll have to watch for it. As FBZ just tanking through a bunch of damage from Miposhka. This Lich.
Bot lane.
More.
A nice jump on Collapse.
Collapse in trouble, but Jackie cleaning him up. So another kill down bottom.
Really, really nicely played. He got a 2-man dispose, or rebound rather, and then just 2 raises, OD dies. He's going treads. It looks like he's just going to go rush the Axe on the OD, which is last time he would popular as the offlane, he would go Meteor Hammer.
Yeah.
He'd play for the, wait till the H on banished, pressure Meteor Hammer for the perfect timing. It looks like now he's just playing purely for the Astral.
Yeah. Which is understandable a little bit there, but not having a great time on that OD to start at the very least. As Spear going to connect onto that tower, make sure that Yopaj can secure those couple of last hits. Again, slow and steady, as we've often seen happen in these elimination matchups. Your team really wants to leave to try and rotate to one of those other lanes. Things can go south very quickly.
Yeah, none of these early moves mid. Skem just too busy doing his stacks, and also, you're a disruptor, so it's not that great. And obviously, you can see the benefits of having the Mercy down bottom.
I think the 2 big moves this game right now are going to be whether they go mid on the arena timing, which is about to hit right now. It looks like the supports are kind of locked in their lanes due to how Team Spirit drafted. But I think the other move that is really important is I think Yatoro's going to look to TP bot at some point relatively soon. 1 Astral into a Life Clear just hitting you. He has Ghoul Frenzy. He has all the slow he needs. So once I would say that's going to happen right around when Beast hits Dom. So in the next minute or 2, you'll probably see him abandon the lane.
Now this is, again, the moment when Boom have looked at their strongest, when they make sure that they enable Yopaj to get everything he wants, and they bring in 2 supports going to secure that rune, which is going to spawn up top. So Yopaj gets the DD. And again, this is 2 separate rounds where Boom has got their supports to run mid and deny out Toronto Tokyo.
look at this. They just run right into his jungle, too. No big stacks even for him right now, unfortunately. As Leshrac, someone who just like doesn't even matter how many units there are with his spells, right? They're just basically farming the same amount, so.
Yeah, it looks like Team Spirit's playing mostly just to secure their side lanes. They're all just doing their own thing. They're 2-on-2. No one's moving. No one's doing much. And they're trying to be content 50-50ing all their lanes. I think they're very confident in how their heroes match up, just in pure 1-to-1s on the other team. So they don't feel the need to pressure towers early, pressure anything. They need to hit their timings. Again, this Leshrac, the Bloodstone is his timing. So the whole team's probably just playing for Bloodstone hits, or Lesh hits Bloodstone, then we do what we need.
And then the question is, like, if you spot that arena coming, maybe you can get collapsed there in time, get the Astral save, get the big turnaround play in the mid lane.
A little bit of a go here. Pops the rage, no glimpse. FBZ chased down. Do they have a pull? They do. Baposhka, he got him. FBZ just gonna die. So a very nice play from Team Spirit there. They just ran on in and killed him.
Scam?
I should be fine.
Just wanted that one last punch.
That's the worst feeling. You're like, oh, they don't have stuns. I can TP out.
Fine.
And then you get stunned. You're like, I have to walk back to their lane. He doesn't have boots either because he wants to get this Helm of the Dominator. A little sad, but it's not the worst. He still has this time. The Beastmaster always has a time that he gets level 6, he gets Stomp, and he can kick out almost any carry from the game.
Some wards placed up there. Probably will be taken away in just a couple of minutes here. But Yopaj, well, throw out that stun, connects onto the Nyx Assassin. Still hanging onto this arena, but with no spear, that gives Toronto Tokyo some freedom to walk on in and try and push out this lane. Mira wants to contest, and it is going to be bottom. So they get another rune. In fact, this DD, some pretty good damage. They're going to take down the Nyx Assassin.
Yeah, and that level 1 Carapace, or, well, sorry, level 2, I mean, it's so, it's 20 seconds, like, there's such a long time for you to punish on that. Once you Carapace that spear, I was kind of thinking like, ooh, this looks kind of free, you know? And start looking at that Leshrac with the arena, but instead they just chase down Mira at the rune.
So no runes claimed at 8 minutes in by the Toronto Tokyo. Feels a little bit rough. You can see he's kind of hurting from it based on that net worth, having to run back and forth to base a couple of times. But
right, Mira fills the bottle, gives him a little prize from that, but again, if Team Spirit feels a little, I don't know how to say it. They're just stuck in their lanes, maybe.
Yeah.
And the worry is if Boom is able to kick these heroes out of lane fully, that's when it starts feeling bad.
Yeah, then you're forced to make a move. And if you look at their heroes, like, making a move is not very easy. It feels like it's kind of on the back of Mira, obviously once you get to 6.
Yeah, the cores don't really mesh that well in terms of forcing plays to happen. You Astral, and Astral's not the best because it also enables the other team to set up for 4 seconds. They can TP in, try to save, so a lot of it will be on this Nyx Assassin, I think, to kind of catch around the map. Or even the Lifestealer just walking at a tower.
Poshka, they find him again. Couple quick hits, and Team Spirit looking to get a bit of a return. Can they do it? Yopaj chased down, barely able to walk away from that one, and he gets out.
Look at TP.
Yeah, is he still sticking around here? This is crazy. This guy needs to head on back home, and will do just that. So they get the kill onto that Lich and manage to escape.
Easy lang, easy.
Was the arena used?
It was. The nice thing as well is that the Beastmaster used Roar for that, so Yatoro probably feels safe for the next 70 seconds to sit in his lane and not feel pressure to rotate out. But now this is giving a 1v1 to collapse. And OD, even in a bad matchup in the side lane, giving him a 1v1 is pretty nice for the hero. And something interesting as well is he maxed his Arcane Orb first, as opposed to the Astral.
Yeah, trying to get up that farm there and obviously be a bit of a threat if anybody steps in too much.
I feel like it's like a good threat in terms of rotations as well. Try and bring someone through.
A little bit of some mouse issues as we see the Hellbear about to be banished to the Netherrealm. You know, it's interesting to me too, the dynamic of these two teams in terms of the pressure that they're feeling. For Team Spirit, again, returning champions, and for Boom, you know, they were making tweets that looked like they thought they were out of the tournament just a couple days ago. You know, expectations are off. Obviously, it's always, you know, a tough situation to be in playing like this, but they have been looking very free, very fluid on this Boom team.
Yeah, well, we have the timing's not coming out in terms of the 10-minute tome. So Disruptor, probably gonna have 6 here in a second. Marcy, of course, a position 4 that doesn't really need the 6 that bad.
Yeah, but he could be level 7.
I know, it's true. It's true.
You never play the pubs, you're the 4, and you're like, I could be level 7 right now. I could be so strong.
Listen, Disruptor players have a special, you know, they have a little pass. They get it, all right?
They feel the need. They got to get it. Yeah, and I think that this level 6s is going to be an interesting little timing as well, because you get so many big team fight things, whether it's Chain Frost, the Vendetta to allow Mira to wrap around and try and sneak up on somebody. There's a lot that changes once these supports get ultis, and also once the game resumes. So we're just waiting on that one. Mask of Madness done on the SF. Waiting as Lifestealer is heading in, and I believe has that armlet coming out to him. Queuing up the Deso afterwards, so just straight up damage for this guy.
So the cores have not done much rotating. Yopaj did the move top, but you can see it doesn't even feel that good for him to go top. The Lush just follows him. They take some fight. Looks really scary. And I think right now this bot lane is where the action is going to happen for either side. That's where the easiest lane for... Because you can't arena the Lifestealer. He's going to rage your arena, walk away. So he's going to try to look to maybe arena collapse, or the Lifestealer's going to go bot.
Yeah, if they see the Lifestealer go bot, like maybe there's a chance that you follow just like the Helm up top, or you just all fight bot, as you said. It's kind of like last game where Hokori tried to make the save on Lumiere's lane. They all went up there. That made such a big change as to where the game went, and now we're at that same crossroads here.
And this is where the Lifestealer kind of the strength of the hero shows. Obviously, it's really good, mid-late game. He has rage. He's so good versus all the spellcasters, but it's when you can't kick him out of the lane. That's where he's really strong. And he has Armlet, he has Max School Frenzy. You can't really just lane verse him for fun.
See you later,
again, Alaro keeps the pressure up top, trying to force that back. There was a big movement down bottom.
He's getting like he just got the catapult up top with his boar while he was farming the Ancients.
And he finished that big stack
gamer.
there, too.
Yeah, that's nice.
That is a lot of gold. And he needed it. He was pretty far behind on the Speedmaster. So starting to catch back up to the rest of the cores in this game.
He's a little bad, but I think his job in this game is mostly just going to be to buy the Vlads for his team. He has 2 cores who use it very nicely, and it's just going to be to roar the Lifestealer. That's all they need him to do. He doesn't need to crush the game by himself.
RC gets hit there by the Sun. Chain Frost looking for some lucky bounces. Will hit one. Do they get another? They do. One last punch. Mira comes in. Luck and skill and team spirit. They take on down that support. Toronto Tokyo moving in. Says, Yopaj, you want some more? Glimpse to stop it. And that will be enough to keep Yopaj out of harm's way.
Yeah, I was scared of a Mira stun and a follow-up split earth, so try and remove that. But yeah, missing the spear there.
Yeah, nice sidestep.
Yeah, that was rough.
This is where Mars can feel a little scary. If you can't consistently make these arenas work, get these kills with the arena, the spears, you start to not have as much impact. You can see he's rushing the BKB, so his damage won't be too high, but...
Glimpse, spear, stays on, big static storm, hits onto everybody. Yano rages, the regen keeps him alive. Is it enough? No! He still manages to go down. A good thought by Yadiro, but it wasn't enough to keep the Lesh alive.
That would have been crazy. Yeah, actually managed to get the save there too. But I mean, that's why I think Maris is so tempting. Like, despite, like, what is he, like 40% win rate or something, and maybe even lower? Yeah. Like, he just keeps going down, but you still see teams gravitate back to this hero because he gives you, like, direction. He gives you, you have arena, it's like this spell that you can go, but when you start missing these spears, that's where it gets really painful.
A lot of the damage from this hero comes from spear and arena.
Yeah.
So, you miss that, you're missing out 600 damage or so on every hero. I also think something interesting is the Lifestealer. If he ends up going for Shard, he doesn't have it queued up yet, but it's really cool with Leshrac of how it works. It'll make the Leshrac lifesteal 50% of the damage.
Yeah.
And it'll bounce and connect on all the different units every damage. So I think it's every 500 damage, it'll open wounds another unit. So
it is a very close game here, as you can see. A slight favor right now to the 4-team Spirit. Yeah, that open wounds is going to be something interesting to watch for. That's going to be enough to keep alive this Lesh in these pivotal moments. Or, of course, the big hero that we haven't even really talked about has been this OD. Still has the chance to Astral for those saves, but Smoke and the Vendetta used. Mira moves in. Ooh, just a little bit off on that stun.
Was he not going for the Helm Creep?
He might have been going for the hero Trent.
Mira and Impales in the top lane. Same location, 1 year later.
Dude, that's the thing with True Sight, right? Everybody remembers every move at that point afterwards. It's just how it goes.
Flashbacks.
Oh, they did win that TI, so maybe it's good flashbacks.
Good flashbacks. Memories is what they say.
All right, Invis rune picked up for Yopaj now.
Every rune.
Yeah,
every rune.
Always bringing the heroes, keeping some vision in the area as well.
Radiant's top tower.
Unfortunately, not resulting in a big lead for this hero. You know, not really snowballing your Marisol too much.
Toronto is
Here he
closing
comes.
in on the Bloodstone, though.
He's going bottom with that invis.
They have a sentry, though. They spotted. Oh, no, that was Radiant sentry.
I know, it looked like you think it was dire, but the way he just got out of there, right?
Dude,
But
Collapse was so ready.
this guy's pretty good, I hear.
Maybe they had a word on where he TP'd from, but regardless.
Very nice. Fests kills that off. Now Rage used. They're going to stun him. Tim's has the control for round 2. If they go for the jump to stun, disposes it, and it is! Oh, pretty play coming from FBZ and Tim's. The Chain Frost will not stop it. Just like that, they open this one up perfectly.
It's the carry rotation. Shadowfiend goes top, breaks the lanes down to kill the Lifestealer. It was... You know what he's doing. He infests the creep to just kill the Dom creep so that Beastmaster has no pressure, but now they just roar him. He just dies.
Now the situation just gets so much worse, but at least they'll have the trade in the bottom lane at the same time there with the help of the Leshrac.
Yeah, this will probably finish the Bloodstone. Oh, okay. Toronto bought the energy booster. I got worried. Sold it. He sold it fast enough, though.
Yeah.
He's good.
They did smoke up from top as they run down here. Do they have a dust? They do have a dust ready on the Disruptor.
They saw him. They caught a quick IS on him.
Oh,
it's
just out of range, though. So Mira will escape. Yopaj throwing a spear in anger.
Sentry and ward on this cliff if he decides to
that
peek his head
combo.
up.
It's a classic Nyx, you know? They like to run up those stairs.
Radiant's bottom tower has
Tier 1 tower taken both top and bottom. Mid open if they want to head that direction.
That was a really big move. Killing this Lifestealer. Anytime you kill a hero who feels unkillable, the next kill is always easier. It's the same thing with Timbersaw when he's a very strong hero. You kill this guy once, and he starts going from, you know, diving your tier 3s, being unkillable, to just a hero.
Got it off. Saved for the moment. In some trouble now. Collapse. Does he have the ability to survive? They have Infest up in a second if they want to use it. Astral, round 2, Collapse, building him up, gets him healed back up. Now the turn, Yopaj in trouble, killed off. Collapse, another Astral now.
It's so much damage. It's 500 with the Ags.
Oh my god. Blows him up. And they still hang on to the OD ulti. But showing the power of this pick here on the big stage. Team Spirit, looking good.
The nice thing right now is he doesn't have to play into the Beastmaster. Zoo's the way you beat OD. So he's constantly been bot. He hasn't even looked top probably, hasn't even touched the lane. His team's coming to him bot, and they don't even worry about the Beastmaster. He's relatively poor for what you would expect from this hero, and he hasn't had much impact outside of that Lifestealer kill.
Yeah, he died at some pretty crucial moments, and now they start to surround this mid tower here, but they're bringing a lot of units. There's no Static Storm, but they do have that glimpse, so if you drive them off, maybe you can get a pick off.
Tower dropping so quickly. Yeah, they're going to take this one. Team Spirit, come on in, claim the tower. They do ask for a 1. Do they have... Oh, it's just a 4. Okay. I thought that was another hero. Well, nonetheless.
One big thing is they glyphed, I believe, so now Boom has no glyph. So if Team Spirit's feeling really good, they can go for a tier 2 right now.
Yeah.
Take a look real quickly at this replay and how close it could have been, but Collapse was there for the save, and they just handled him.
Likely a smoke coming out here soon, you would think, from Boom, right? You have Arena backup, you have Static Storm. They're trying to think of the big play they want to go for.
Absolutely. Let's see if they head up to that side of the map.
Hitting BKB timing on the Shadowfiend, just about 400 gold. And Boom still has very strong timings. They have double BKB soon. Mars just finished his. He gets an Invis to catch. No blinks yet on the side of them, so their jump is not the best, but when they're able to sit there, stand with BKBs, the sidekick, maybe they fight around a Roche. They're really strong.
Spirit's vision is unreal right now. They have watched like 4 heroes walk from the top rune down through their jungle. Now they see them over by the shop as well earlier. So, or not the shop rather, but like heading towards that outpost. So there's tons of wards in that area from Spirit with their 3K lead. Gives them the safety to just sort of farm up a little bit more. And now with that information, they're going for the fight.
They run into him. The smoke heading down south, and it's FBZ that is going to be the first point of contact. They might have seen the axes there. FBZ backs away, anticipating some heading over that direction.
This is not where you want to fight for Boom. They want to go. They want to force a Roche right now. I think they want to force a Roche or a tower. They want to force an area that Team Spirit's forced to walk into.
Yeah.
Their Hawks, their vision. So you can see
they're pinging it from Tim's. Tim's is just all over that Roche.
They're going. Yopaj, Invis.
Jonathan Babcock, let's
No
put the time
sentries
mamaya.
around, so if they head up this direction, he is there to break it off. And again, another one of these just runes picked up that could be game-defining. Yopaj there, they drop the sentry. He's still over in the trees, though. They spot him, Ward. He's just out of vision. They'll take it down now, and Team Spirit not wanting to give up this Roche for nothing. Yeah. Reset again.
Nakatawa sa'yo, Ate Boots.
Best of ones, so much nerves.
Ate Boots
You don't want to be the team that
Malay
makes the bad move.
Yeah.
You want to always make sure your moves are good, they're clean.
Share mo yung live.
Even if they end up gameplay-wise not clean, you want the moves as a team to be clean and together.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
And after farming out bottom and then heading top, Team Spirit back to it in their own jungle. Boom is going to spread out a little bit. They're going to show Yopaj on that bottom lane, at least for a moment. And now Toronto Tokyo heading on in, ready to contest for this rune. It is a DD. Jackie's going to pick that one up.
Oh, DD, BKB, Shadow Fiend. And this is with a lot of gold investment right now just being stacked and waiting on the OD and the next assassin, right? They want these Blink Daggers to transform their heroes a little bit here, give them that extra reach. So this is a good time for Boom. A lot of empty gold right now on Spirit. The lead is not as large as it seems.
They head on in. There's no way to see into the pit right now for Team Spirit. As they're going to start taking it. Get the D ward. And are they just going to give this up on Team Spirit? It looks like it.
This is where the team fight comes in from Boom. With the Disruptor, Mars, Beast, they have so many heroes that you don't want to walk into that.
Wow.
Nice.
Just like that. Boom. They're going to claim the first Aegis, and Team Spirit give it up for them. We'll see if they can wait this one out, because last game we just saw how quickly things can turn around the back of an Aegis.
You can see they're building for the fights here with the halberd done on Yadaro. Try and ruin Jackie's team fight.
Oh, ready to move in. They're going to defend mid still, even into the Aegis.
They want to smoke the infest on the Nyx. They'll look for Mars. He walks away.
Radiant are scanning.
He's pretty slow.
He's good.
Yeah, he gets out of there. Radiant scan, they knew that play was coming again.
That was nice. Anytime you know the team kind of rotates a lot of heroes mid, specifically, the only way they can leave mid is a smoke or aggressive play. You can't really split up in all directions because now you don't have TPs for 80 seconds, and that's how you get picked off. So, the nice foresight to know that Team Spirit's going to make an aggressive move.
Bit of a classic at this point, right? The aggro immediately after Roche, trying to sort of like ruin this composure that you get having the Aegis, feeling the safety around the map.
Yeah, there used to be, a long time ago, used to be, you get the Aegis and you're like, oh, they're never going to fight.
Yeah, they all come.
I have Aegis.
Yeah.
Like, he wouldn't kill me, but nowadays a lot of teams just kind of take that bluff and will kill the Aegis really fast or kill the one hero who's trying to abuse the Aegis vision.
Yeah. Wow. That one hero who really needs an item extremely badly, like Yopaj on the Blink Dagger right now.
And you can see that in that sort of vacuum of space, Yopaj comes on in, will farm this, while FBZ took the mid tier 1 tower with his summons. So still very even game. Poshka the one that's keeping this lane pushed out continuously.
Oh. It's like such a battle of the vision for the Beastmaster and the positioning of Collapse. I feel like, you know, if they can spot him first and get an initiation on the OD, this fight could look so good for Boom.
Courier coming on out. The blink, that was underneath the ward. They saw this. So Spirit playing it safe right now and going on over. See if they can find somebody as they head up the hill. But Spirit, they're already back underneath their own tier 2 tower.
It looks like they want to defend the tier 2. Utaro TP's mid, smokes up. They want to get probably a support, or if the Mars dies 100-0.
Oh, look at that vision though, yeah. That's
running on in. Smoke, Era, scouted. Toronto Tokyo heads out too. They're just doing little tap dances around each other. Everybody knows where they're at.
My biggest concern right now for Boom is whether they have the damage without the SF. I think the Mars is kind of low damage. Beastmaster's not having an amazing game. So it's a lot on the back of this Shadow Fiend, I think, to kind of do everything in the fight. They have to play around him, they have to protect him, he has to kill everyone. On the side of Spirit, you know, Life Seer dies, maybe the Leshrac goes. The Leshrac dies, OG maybe carries them. So it seems a little more of a tricore on the side of Spirit. And Boom, it seems like all their eggs are in the basket.
they actually have so much more damage on Spirit.
Ward, drop down, they see everybody. Boom. Team Spirit have to run away again. They will manage to force him back for the moment, but Boom taking good vision in this area, and with a minute and a half left on the Aegis, could be spoiling for a fight, or even just to try and bully Team Spirit. They haven't been able to accentuate their lead. Team Spirit keeps farming.
They're not being bullied, you know? They're kind of like looking at it, like, yeah, okay, you got Aegis, what? You want to fight? We're ready. It is causing them, of course, to stay relatively grouped, and so you can see that Boom gets a slightly bigger spread there, but you got to be a little bit careful, because we know that they're ready to try and abuse that spread if you're too confident in your Aegis. Luckily, they've lost a lot of their vision, so Spirit aren't exactly sure where they're grouped up right now.
Butterfly is finished for Shadow Fiend, so Lifesteal is not going to do too much for him, but
it's also out for this one. The glimpse back will be saved by Astro for the moment. Spear, that was rage. Yopaj goes in. There is nowhere to fight. Miposhka down low is going to die, but a couple more of these Astros. Spear getting a little bit of separation. Split Earth, it's on the BKB. Toronto, Tokyo trying to do what damage he can, but it's not enough. They want to bring him down desperately. A couple more punches, but he's away. Two still dead. Boom, look for more. Find the OD. And boom. They take him down 3 for nothing.
So maybe they should have respected the Aegis a little bit more. You know, just a little bit.
Just such much damage from that SF. And now, even though the Aegis is expiring, this is going to be another tier 2 tower taken by Boom.
They used Glyph. There's no more Glyph if they go for the tier.
That is very frightening.
Aegis is expiring, so I think they might respect Team Spirit, but
this certainly is such a little poking part. Like Yaro just like still hitting the creep there as well. He gets it down. Okay, nice. But this was kind of crazy, right? Like the fact that he had the enrage off in time too. So.
And then of course,
it got kind of weird. He like infests the Lich. The Lich isn't moving. They get stuck.
I think the important thing right now is they used the Lich Frost Armor before the fight started. They kind of use it as he can walk in, he won't die, he'll kill the creep, versus they go on him, I protect him with this. And I think that's kind of what caused the Lifestealer to die in the fight. So if he gets Frost Shielded, I think that's actually going to be the big change in the next fight that Team Spirit needs. That's all they need to do.
The thing that's interesting is also like this build that the Shadow Fiend has gone straight Butterfly afterwards, after the BKB. Really good, obviously, against the Lifestealer, but then the other one is going to be this OD, these Arcane Orbs. Doesn't really want to have to itemize to deal with this for collapse. They're going to need to wait for that BKB to be down on the SF before they can really take an easy fight at least.
Yeah, thankfully, he doesn't really need to press his orb. His goal in life is more going to be just astral people to either to save or astral enemies so he can set up for his ult. But it's going to matter when it's like, you know, it gets down to the end of the fights, everyone's half health, low mana, no BKBs. That's when he could, you know, 3-shot the SF, but if he missed 2 of those 3 hits, he's not dying.
Going to be looking for a little bit of goodwill from the Dota gods, all playing here in their home region. Boom. Wanting to see if they can keep this pressure on. Only one outer tower remains. A 10-6 game, not too many kills, but a whole lot of pressure being felt by both of them. As they're going to wait out for this next Aegis, 1 minute and 15 seconds till it's capable of respawning.
And taking that bottom tier 2 as well as putting that pressure on the tier 3 tower right now. Grab this mid tier 2 as well. And in another minute, we'll know just how close that is. You can see the lines being drawn by Tim again, directing a lot of the team throughout this match. He's just saying, just stick together, right? We know our plan right now. We're very strong at the moment, and we have that good team fight.
They know that Roche can start respawning in about a minute, so they want to take this dire jungle away from them and then hold the high ground, hold wards. They want to be ready for Roche before it happens. Or just have fun with your ult.
A lot of constant spam there of the Requiem.
I think the really nice thing as well is Yopaj. You see he went BKB Blink, and he knows he's not going to do this Deso or the Ags, the damage. He doesn't need to. So he's going to go for a Sheep and also for a Refresher. So he's playing purely stun heroes, team fight. That's all he needs to do. Just be there and control for your Shadow Fiend.
Smoke up Team Spirit, no vision in this area. KB out, FBZ. There's a surprise inside of that Nyx, be careful. A little bit wary chasing too far. Stealer will pop out. But that's BKB down on the Beastmaster.
And the Roar. Which, the Roar is one of their biggest tools versus the Lifestealer. You can use it through Rage. It's their only tool they can use through a BKB hero.
And a quick spawn on Roche, so potentially those won't be up by the time this fight could happen again.
Yeah, they actually want to try and pressure that bottom lane by the looks of it as well. They're like sending Yopaj down, seeing if they can create that imbalance on the map. But Team Spirit, they're moving faster than that.
Miposhka heads on in. They already dewarded this area on Boom.
Their scan misses. Oh, now they see him.
Maybe a chance. Smoke breaks. FBZ just barely gets out of there.
So close.
That was very, very close. But Team Spirit head on in and are going to take this tier 1 tower.
So Roshan is up. There's no roar for 25 seconds, no BKB on him for 30. And Spirit does have the ability to Rosh very easily. The Lifesaver can do it by himself. Even the OD orb works on it now. So they have the tools to do it, and they see it.
They have the Hawk too, yeah. So Hawk doing some work here.
And now here's the part of the dance where Boom's going to try to take the jungle back from them. So they have the high ground advantage in the fight. Pushing up mid, pushing out bot. Always about these pressure, these lanes, the vision.
The Hawk is just doing so much for them right now. You know, because it lets them get this pressure in the mid lane. Lets them get this pressure in the bottom. They don't have to worry about the fact that, like, they know that Rosh isn't being taken. They don't have to worry about some smoke play or something. They're just chilling.
Yeah.
This Rosh is the big one. It's the second Rosh. That's generally the first one. It'll give us 2,000 gold, but you don't really end the game with it. The second Rosh, you get Shards, you get Aegis. This is when you have actually hit your timings, and you can actually end the game. So whichever team gets this Rosh is probably going to be firmly in command of the game for the next 5 or so minutes.
Sliver picked up for the SF. More ways to just make him hit harder, stay alive longer, and even queuing up the Sanjin Yasha next. So wanting to just be this whirling damage dealer in this game. While a smoke happens, 5 heroes.
Also, like the first time the game where the buybacks can be really huge, right? For this Rosh as well.
Yeah, that's also a big reason why Dire Jungle is so important for both teams to take. The outpost. It's the Rosh buyback. And right now Team Spirit has it, so they should be a little confident about the Rosh fight, but it's all about the team fight.
It really feels like Collapse is the big one. Like him not having the buyback too. Like he's someone who can get back in the fight so fast if he were to go down first.
Watch for it. And Team Spirit, they did take that upper tier 1 tower, which is normally where Radiant will come to help reinforce and save. The Spike Carapace hits.
Okay, all right, yeah.
But won't go for anything else there. Mira does have that Blink Dagger, but it's a little bit scary to make the move.
The big Carapace plays so far today have led to some victories.
I think he's really happy he has the Shard right now. If there's no damage over time, the Nyx is able to blink forward and stun him there.
Yeah.
True.
Blink canceled.
Stay away from. Yeah.
Maybe can hit a couple big spears there along the way too onto several heroes. We'll have to watch and wait and see. But boom, they feel strong, they feel ready. They're heading into the pit. Satanic is done for Jackie. I don't know if they spotted him going in here, actually. They might not have. So Team Spirit on the outside, and of course, without any easy vision in here, they're not going to be able to tell that this is happening.
Togyo's Blink is coming right now as well.
They want to make this
on the
fight
bot
happen.
side, there's pressure with the creep, so they're just being pulled around the map of what to do.
And it's moving down. It's going down quickly. They drop down the field, looking for a jump. Does he go in for it? He gets it for the Aegis. It's in time.
He got glimpsed out before he grabbed the shard.
Oh, man.
That was so close.
That timing. That timing, though.
We've seen some crazy Rosh deals. Xin Q in the group stage was doing a lot.
And suddenly, a 7,000 gold lead for Boom. With no more outer towers left to go. I mean, Team Spirit, they've got to be sweating at this point.
How's Yopaj feeling? All right. You get a haste rune, you know, I find that go a little wild there, but back to farming.
Seth, Aegis in hand. Jackie, ready to move this one up. It's Yopaj's first TI after being a standout player this entire year and wanting to back up the rest of his team, see if they can get up there onto the high ground, take build-ins.
I think Boom might slow it down for the next minute or so. The Shadow Fiend level 20 is a really big timing. He gets 3 more damage per soul, 60 more damage for 1 talent.
Yeah.
So I think once they hit that, that's probably where they're, all right, I've had my timing, we go high ground, we can end the game, honestly.
Spirit, what is their answer going to be? Because right now, we haven't been able to see a successful move from them over the past couple of minutes. They have this Halberd, which seems really strong on Yatoro, but it's been a lot of like, okay, we can save this person, then we can save that person, but they haven't been able to do the damage that they need yet.
The biggest thing is actually starting the fights. Again, all of it is on Mira to start the fights for them. You don't want to really start with Astral and show your position. And so the Lifesteers constantly have to infest. He can't farm.
They have a Tim's BKB coming right now as well. So he can really get into these fights.
Banish, Split Earth. Connects there for a moment. Just tickling for now. Another round of the Astral. Jackie will just walk away from that one.
He sends himself the BKB and the Paladin sword, and Tim's just like, all right, let's go.
They're ready for it.
Try and force some Astrals.
Now,
the OD has no BKB, so Marcy gets on top of him. He can just kill him. The Static Storm as well. Very good versus OD right now. It's really scary if Boom gets these team fights going.
they did finish the AC on Yadoro, and we still have a plate mail on the Lesh. So those heroes at least are going to be that much stronger and capable of keeping themselves alive if these fights go out.
It feels like Spirit have just been incredibly patient this entire game.
Again, they feel very confident with their heroes going to late game. The questions are they going to be too far behind when they get there?
And will Boom keep that pressure on and force them to have some type of reaction? Now Mira's moving in. Obviously, very dangerous with that Lifestealer in tow. Things could go wrong, and you don't have a BKB TP out with the Beastmaster in the pool.
That gem is still on scam as well, the Disruptor, so.
All right, I think this is go time for Boom. They want to go high ground. They just finished AC. They just got level 20. The Refresher Orb is now finished by Mars. They just all these timings. They want to go. They want to end this game.
Got a fresh Glimmer as well on scam. Everything's coming together.
The Glimmer.
I mean, if this push doesn't go well, if they lose this Aegis, if they lose a big team fight, how hard does that swing things back into the favor of Spirit if it happens?
It's pretty rough on you.
It depends on
spot a refresher.
Yeah, I think it depends on the Lifestealer.
Very
if
good.
he survives the fight, he gets items. Because again, Spirit, all they need is they need to throw one hero into the Wolves, which is going to be the Lifestealer. He's going to get Frost Shield, he's going to get Astraled, and then if he survives all that, then he keeps fighting. Then the Lush gets to own the fight, the OD gets to own the fight. But the biggest question is if he has enough farm, if he has enough time to actually survive this fight. That's why the bot fight, he dies first, the fight's over. So it's all about surviving this initial jump for Spirit and sending a hero and two get jumped.
For now, they're content to hold this high ground. Net worth lead staying steady, 9K. They finished the Daedalus.
Okay, I love what Mira just did. Mira just grabbed a sentry. I was actually looking through it, trying to figure out, you know, because they were all sitting on Miposhka right now. Because if you think about that Glimmer save, because he's going to try and do some sort of a carapace play where he jumps in with the Lifestealer, and you really don't want the Glimmer to just save somebody.
There it is. First opening, just the Impale, but the Frost Shield on the tower. And then they jump out. They're going to use the Glyph now. Not exactly the way they wanted that one to go, and they're still underneath the Hawk. This vision there the entire time, pushes them back, follows them, catches them with the save. It's there for the moment. Can he get out for round two? They've already lost Mira. Chase down, couple punches, Yadoro trying to get away. The crit was not enough damage, but they do still manage to take down that tower. It was a buyback from Mira, and then just like that, they get out.
Yeah, he still has the Arena Spear, but he does not have a BKB.
Yeah, 2 BKBs used on the Mars, BKB on the Marcy, BKB on the Shadow Fiend. Beastmaster still has his, but he has no roar. They don't feel too bad. I know that Aegis is expiring now, but you never feel bad. Anytime you win and you get a win, you shouldn't feel bad about taking the win and walking away.
Right.
Well, Spirit now walk out.
Right, and that's the other dynamic is how far behind our Spirit. It's 12K gold, but in terms of items and fight potential, I feel like we haven't really even seen Team Spirit get a good one into their favor yet. It's going to be a tough one to watch as they try and pick up their next round of items now, 37 minutes in.
Again, this Leshrac hasn't been able to do too much in the fights.
Puntahan
I
niya,
think a lot of the time the
nagsosolo
Lesher's
yung
either dead or
Toronto.
everyone's BKB. And he
niya.
kind of wants to wait for everyone's BKB to run out to be this really strong threat. And so the fights have almost always been over in the duration of the BKBs.
Or drop down, they see him. Toronto, Tokyo needs to be careful. The spear blink back. Gets him for the glimpse. BKB TP out.
Okay, that was insane.
That was pretty good. that was pretty good.
That guy has won a TI before.
Yeah.
Quick fingers.
I saw Gunner's face. He's like, damn. Yeah, okay.
Arcane Rune up top.
They're just buying timings, but they have to at some point think of what is their timing.
I like this. I'm down for a replay on just a blink.
Yeah. Gets him out of there. So Boom, after taking the tier 3 tower, are going to try and make another assault down here at bottom. Still a minute and a half left till Roche. And they're actually finishing off a Dragonlance, bringing it out for Jackie. Always a bit scary walking up high ground without Aegis.
Bang the drums, though.
Looking for it. They have the Sentry Ward down. Impale the start. Big punch. Big catch. Is it enough for the kill? Oh, no! They didn't get it off in time. The ODOC missed. The save comes out from the Marcy. That was exactly what they needed. And now the pullback. Do they have enough? They do. Yadoro down. No buyback. Oh,
Uwi na kayo sa
boom.
Euro.
They sense something. They sense the moment. They can feel the crowd.
Double
He's so
dog.
close to buyback too.
And they want to take this one down. Tier 3 tower getting hit. Jackie from the low
Ayan.
ground. This would be such a huge upset. They have looked solid this entire game.
Look at Yopaj just lying in
Ano,
wait here with the
Yatorog na.
smoke, using that ninja gear.
Tanggalin mo na yung god mo, ha?
As refresher back
Hindi
up
ko na
again in a
makikita
second
sa
too.
yan.
10 seconds left now. Can they do this?
Wala na isang beses,
Looking
god na.
for it. Collapse. He's revealing himself.
He's got a ward on the right. He sees them all.
They're thinking about it. Jump forward, spear back, arena down.
Ay,
Get
ang
over
kapal.
here.
Yan pa, kulong
Round
na
2 with the
loob, dalawa.
refresher. Tim's in.
GG.
They're catching.
GG.
They're killing. Boom. They're doing it
GG na.
all. Team Spirit, they don't have the
Ubusin yan,
answer.
ubusin yan.
There are still no buybacks.
tabahan
Still
ng
dead.
bawas.
They chase them down. Big blast and another one.
Ako umuwi sa Europe.
Team Spirit, they're all laid out. It is over. Oh my God! Boom came in and boomed them. As they're gonna take it down. Mira back up again. The crowd's getting into it. There's a third row shut, but they don't care.
Pusin.
They want to end this
Pusin
game.
ang taba ng
They want to
damage.
send the TI champs home. They throw the spear in to stop any blinks, to stop anything at all. Jackie trying to take it down. Mira
easy.
looking, hoping, desperately want to take this out. But Timsy runs in. He punches the ancient
Ano
Team
yan?
Spirit. They
GG.
don't have an answer.
GG.
GG! Boom, come
See you
in
next
and
year.
upset the champs. You couldn't write it any better.
A CTI Boom Esports doing it for the
See
crowd.
you next year.
They're on
Oh,
their feet.
you
They
wait.
love this.
Unbelievable
takot sa
performance,
bunso.
and oh, it hurts. God, the elimination, but the
Southeast Asia, yeah, boy.
absolute ecstasy coming
Malubabak
out
na.
from Boom as they close this game out. 1% chance at the
Play
end
this
of
game.
the group stages.
To play this game.
Malubaba
To
ka na
play
lang,
this game,
turo,
to even
totoo.
have the opportunity.
Easy.
One of those matches
Easy
that they are
game.
not going to forget, and Boom get another lifeline here.
Naiyak.
I mean, they definitely did not look like any sort of an underdog, that's for sure, throughout this match. I feel like they sort of took the tempo
Uwi na.
off of this game. They understood that they were the ones leading, and it was always Team Spirit
Malapit
like,
na
trying to
airport
find their
na.
way back in. It felt like Boomer just in such good control.
And with that, we're going to head on back to the studio. Team Spirit eliminated. Boom, moving on.
Indeed, Boom control the game and control the narrative, and they are moving on to game 2 and knocking out the defending champions, Team Spirit. And, you know, so much to talk about when it comes to draft, the lane moving, the itemization. So we can start with you, T-Gov. The draft, you know, the OD was like an answer to somewhat, but they also, you know, were just kind of waiting to see if that answer worked out. They weren't really making opportunities with it.
Yeah, I think the main thing for Team Spirit, they had pick 18, pick 24. Pick 18, they go Lifestealer into this Mars, and then now suddenly Mars is a mid lane, so this Lifestealer pick, it's like, wait, I'm not laning into the counter I wanted.
Sabi
And
na
then
eh,
you have
walang
this last
kaya
pick
sa
OD.
ano yan eh, sa
In
Boom.
theory, there's some saves that can
Dati pa
apply.
yan
It can
eh,
help with a
spirit na
forward-thinking Team Spirit.
Walang
But as
kaya
soon
sa
as you
Boom
start
yan.
playing reactionary and on the
Ikaw
back foot,
nakakaharap,
then the rest of your draft
yan.
lacks its like initiating tools, its ability to take a fight, compared to Boom, which is on complete opposite side of that spectrum.
And that's
Kapal
really
ng bawas
what I
eh.
feel like, you know, Team Spirit have been famous for is not only their reaction, but their initiation as well. But having Collapse on the OD, it was only a reaction. And even at the kind of 20-minute mark, you know, Roche was taken, and here we see one of the big fights and turnarounds and, you know, various saves. But sorry, Lizard, you wanted to get in on this.
No, if we go a year back and you pick this OD, you build him a Meteor Hammer. He's the one initiating. He's the one
Double
pressuring
damage.
always,
Oh,
jumping in,
pinasok.
astraling you, Meteor Hammering you, setting things up for your teammates. But right now, he cannot do that. And what's also difficult is, like, you're playing with the Lifestealer. Naturally, he wants to rage, right, Sheep? But if you rage, then you can't be saved. So it was really difficult to execute this
And you
properly.
can, yeah, and also get locked down by the
You know what's
Beastmaster
cooking.
during the rage. So
Boom.
really, really tough. And then,
Taba
yeah, and
ng
also,
bawas.
you know, we talked about saves from the OD, and that was a very stressful game, I can imagine, for Collapse. And he really didn't feel like he got to play his version of what he enjoys in Dota, which is initiations and, you know, perfect timing, just because of just how many tools it seemed that Boom Esports had. But talking about items, Sheep, you know, what was the itemization like for Boom to really keep their momentum?
Oh my god, I love their
No,
itemization. This
spirit.
butterfly coming out from Jackie was fantastic because Lifestealer is a hero
Very
that
good.
really wants to buy a halberd, he wants to buy a basher, he wants to be able to control you and stop you from hitting, and he wants an AC as well because you're playing into this right-click Shadow Fiend. So by having a butterfly, you know, Lifestealer, he wants an MKB, but he can't get it. He has to get these other items first. OD as well. He is a hero that hates buying MKB. So like this item, just 2-in-1 makes it so hard for them to really kill him. You also have like. You're playing into a lineup that also doesn't want to buy BKBs, right? Lesh is going to, but Lifestealer has Rage, and OD doesn't want to buy one either, really. He wants to get these Ags and so on. So I think Yopaj going in on this utility Mars with this refresher, it was amazing. He was able to they could start on the Lifestealer happily, knowing that this arena is able to completely like split the fight in half. And with the refresher, again, like you just have this constant jump and ability to go on them. And oh my God, I love Boom. I'm so happy for them.
Well, Boom had it all, the heroes, the momentum, the items, if you just heard as well. And now they have a winner's interview with Casey.
All right, we're here with Yopaj. Congratulations. You just knocked out the defending champs. How does it feel, and why do you think you were able to be so successful?
We're actually don't care anything, just play our own style, and yeah, we're just happy to beat the defending champion, and we didn't expect anything. So yeah.
How much did the crowd play into it? Were you able to feel their energy and their support?
Actually, we're not thinking about it, and just play, no pressure.
Yep.
So yeah, we're not thinking about the crowd at all.
Well, it worked really well for you guys. Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Back to you guys.
There you go. Yopaj, also known as the team's hype man. I love interviews like that because they are here just to play Dota. You know what I mean? That is their focus. And sure, there are moments, because where they are now, and then of course, for the final weekend, stadium gets bigger, where you can, sometimes even feel the vibrations. Some of the players have said of, being in the booth. But here, yeah. Just wanted to play, no expectations. Yeah, we're happy we'll be the defending champions.
I love the IDC, I just play kind of mentality. And if you guys remember, 1.5 years ago in Singapore, Yopaj actually made a name for himself. He was playing that Singapore major, he was dominating with the Wind Ranger and whatnot, and here he is, a year and a half later, beating the defending champions.
I'm just picturing he finishes the interview and he's like, oh, okay, I just beat them, we finished the hook, he's just doing his professional face. He's trying to keep it, stern so that no one gets too carried away. Because they just beat the champions, now they have to play up against second place.
Yeah, we know who I think we might know who some of the teams are playing, but we can check on that later. I'm not sure if we know exactly who Boom will be facing off against yet, but they've got 2 big victories under their belt. One in the group stages was EG, but this is the one that obviously matters with Team Spirit. But I really love their draft, and I kind of want to focus a little bit, if I can ask, on Disruptor and kind of vision. This, a lot of teams are very positional, and I've always found in pro gaming the ability to kind of move your opponent and bring him out of a position, and Marty does that as well. They had 2 of them on their team, and that also adds a huge amount of stress to Spirit, I'm sure.
Of course, especially when you combine that with a hero such as Beastmaster, who's giving you vision constantly, who has another initiating tool. It's just so difficult for Team Spirit to accomplish anything in a game such as this.
I have to interrupt you there. Sorry, I was doing all these hand signals. Next game, Gaming Gladiators.
No more back. No more back-to-back talaga. Gaming Gladiators sa Kapanatic. Kapanatic.
Diamond Gladiators.
Diamond.
Gaming Gladiators joining the stage, and yeah, you might want to keep it's Ace. I remember him. Hello, Ace. And you have to give a counter of how many times I've interrupted Lizard on day one. They've actually asked him to speak a lot to help me out. But we're going into their opponents in this lower bracket game. Best of 1, Fnatic. Likely to be the crowd's favourite here from SEA, Raven, Armel, Jazz, DJ, and Joao Niel. Well, I completely butchered his name, but he won't mind, I'm sure, because he's going to be hyper-focused on getting through this best of 1. These games, as you've seen on stage, are just incredibly intense, and anything can happen, and that's really the magic of TI, and that's what we saw recently with the Team Spirit versus Boom Esports game. What's likely to happen here, if we can predict? And Lizard, I'm coming back to you because I interrupted you last time, so we need more Lizard.
You need more of me. Okay, so for Gaming Gladiators, this is a team that has been around for quite a bit. Well, the stack has been around.
Yeah.
If you look at them, they have this famous trio. They have Boom, they have Celeri, and the coach Mortal Fate coming all the way from Viking GG. I expect a ton from them.
Yeah, the amount of times that the Gladiators guys said in interviews, it's like, we're the guys that no one cared about us, so we made a team, and they've, at least in Europe, throughout the entirety of DPC, they've been a strong staple at just dominating, at least being consistently in the top bracket of our region. And of course, this TI showing, it hasn't been the best so far, and they're in the lower bracket. And it kind of also feels the same for like Fnatic. Fnatic have consistently been at the top of SEA, but now they're here. So I think both teams, strong SEA, strong EU, it's a very even matchup for this best of one.
Yeah, 2 wins out of the group stage for Gaming Gladiators. Fnatic actually came out with 3 wins, 3 ties and 3 losses. And how would you kind of explain Fnatic as a team, Sheep?
Fnatic are inconsistent. You say they're at the top of C, but honestly, like they've struggled. Like this year has been Boom's year in terms of like in the region competition. Fnatic sometimes will eke out that like top spot and then just as quickly lose it. They struggle very much with discipline in the past, the same way that Boom has throughout this tournament, and I think Gaimin are also feeling that sort of pressure. And for Fnatic, they definitely have the skill, and we've seen that in the games that they've taken from the top teams in the tournament group stage. So I just need them to really just lock it down, boys.
I like the pep talk. And I like the storyline as well, because you're saying essentially Fnatic have somewhat higher highs maybe than their opponents? As in, when Fnatic are on, are they a scarier team than Gaming Gladiators? Yeah, you say they're inconsistent, but you also say they can...
They can destroy, yeah, for sure. I mean, Gaming also had a really amazing start to this year, right? So I think both teams maybe at their highs this year could be comparable.
Mm-hmm. All right, and is there any players that you would want us to keep an eye on in these matches? You know, kind of pivotal players.
For me, it's Gladiators offlane duo, Ace and Tofu. They went from playing in a little mixed stack in EU from Hellbest matches, then they got picked up to join the Gladiators, and I think this combination unlocked Gladiators just to playing new styles. Like the strength of this combination, a whole new life.
Any signature heroes that they like to bring out as their offlane?
For Ace at least, it's been the Underlord, Legions. Like if he wants to play it, he'll play it. He's an ex-carry player moving to offlane, so if there's a bit of farm to be had, he'll turn that offlane hero into that kind of like 2.5 here, that too. Suddenly it's got a bit more priority on the map.
And if you can remember those times, James, like Ace, he was always that gimmicky kind of a carry player, right? Like he had all those meepos, broods,
Visage.
He brings that micro skill also to the offlane, so he can apply it and pick a little bit of a different kind of a hero here, like a brewmaster perhaps.
Yeah. I mean, he's got a lot of experience, and you know, one of the players I recognize. So I'm doing great on this panel. And then Fnatic, any kind of players that you want to kind of bring up? And Sheep,
yes, sir.
It's switching. Let's go.
DJ, the man of the hour for this team. He is an absolutely phenomenal, world-class 4 player, especially if he gets his hands on something like a Hoodwink. That's probably one of my favorites. Even in their losses, the sky turns up. He is so good at his movements on the map. His ability, like his spell casting is great. You'll usually see him like with the potential to just turn into a core as the game goes later, because he's so good at having impact. Number 1, my favorite on that team by far.
And the way they switched it up, right? Like they were playing DJ and Jabs last year on that 4 and 5. Now Jabs is on the offlane, but both of them always felt like the playmakers for Fnatic.
Yeah, DJ, a name I'm also familiar with. I believe actually he kind of called out like Jerax being the best ever in position 4, and I was like, that's a man of good taste.
At the same time, do you guys think that Armel, perhaps as he missed the last TI, he's hungry now and he's back for revenge?
He actually is. He's talked about it. He's been like, yeah, I learned my lesson. I was lazy last year and I will never let that happen again. He has come back like with mindful practice. He talked about making sure he's learning something from every pub.
And in terms of experience on the stage, not any much difference, because in group stages, as we mentioned, they kind of perform similarly, but in terms of actually on stage.
Well, when you look at Raven, this man has been on, what, 4 or 5 TIs?
Yeah, a lot of TIs.
There's definitely a little bit of an edge when it comes to the TI experience, because it's a different style of experience from any other stage, right? It's TI.
Yeah, for Gladiators, they just don't have that much experience at all. Of course, Ace will be their key player there, but everyone else, it's first time.
Well, here we go. We're getting ready for the draft in this match.
Diamond Gladiators versus Fnatic.
And I've got a treat for you here on the panel.
No way.
Yeah. After my strongest handoff there of the production, you get to do the draft.
Wonderful.
And I get to watch and try not to ask silly questions.
Okay, well, Lizard, can you just predict the entirety of the draft, please?
Yeah, sure. We're going to see some Lich, Tiny, Morph. There you go. That's 3 heroes. Anything else?
No, I think that covers it.
Yeah, that's it.
Should we just wait for the game?
Should we just be quiet? Yeah, just, there you go.
There are some people that just mute Twitch chat, by the way. They wouldn't know the difference. We could just mind. But yes, the draft is going to be on its way.
It's going to be a very interesting one because even position 5s, let's say on Fnatic General, I remember like 2 years ago, they would pick a position 5 troll to him. He would carry the games in the DPCs. Like both of these teams extremely flexible. You guys mentioned Ace before. Like,
how flexible is Armel?
Well, let's not call him the most flexible mid laner, but at the same time, he's extremely stable with what he's got. So, and he's old school. So any single mid lane, classic mid lane hero is definitely in his hero pool.
I'll let you guys focus on the draft because take it away. And it looks like the first bands are already out.
Okay. Yep. So I pretty much preface that, of course, the key heroes to look out for is going to be like this Enigma, Fnatic picking it a little bit more often than Gladiators, but potentially having that factored into the opening bans will be pretty critical.
Yeah. When I look at the drafts, I usually first look at what teams are banning against Fnatic, against Gaming Gladiators. Actually, versus Gaming, it's usually the Enchantress and Marcy that's banned out, but they get the Marcy out as like the hero is just strong in any hands at the moment.
Yeah, very much a respecting. Of course, Celery on that Enchantress, very prominent. Broodbuff has kind of risen in popularity during this TI, and now the key heroes are being let through. It's going to be the Primal Beast, it's the Shadow Fiend, Enigma is still available.
Do you think that SF is perhaps first phase material for Gaming?
I feel like SF might fall down a little bit due to the EG showing this morning. The team that was dominant with the hero just got, kind of put to the lower bracket so quickly.
Sorry, Koshi.
Oh, thank you. No, I'm just thinking in my head about how Fnatic have played throughout the year, and like Januel, he was a support player in like healing. You know, he liked healing heroes. He would play very much these kind of. He'd let DJ do all of the roaming, so he would go on like a Tiny, a Hoodwink, whatever, rotate to the mid lane, do his thing, and Januel would focus more on like making sure Raven was having a good game. So this Undying pick that matches that playstyle, I think it's cool to look at this TI and how support has evolved, because I think in Arlington there were players like Picho saying like, oh yeah, healing, it's the best, it's just the best. And in this tournament we have very aggressive fights. We have Liches and Disruptors and stuff with kill threat that want to harass you in lane. So Fnatic's still kind of opting a little bit back for that.
When it comes to the Silencer, Tiga, is this a lane matchup versus an Undying, or is this just something that Gaming like to pick up?
It's a second pick kind of style hero because they've played it on both 4 and 5. So the ability to lane it into anything they need is key. And with this Primal Beast, they've also played it in the off lane, in the 4, in the mid. So because they're
very flexible,
pick, like this, it's opening. It's very robust because of course Primal Beast. You go phase boost, BKB. Your 20-minute timing is dominating, and then you pair it with this team fight here. But yeah, Sniper, that kind of secures a lane against this beast. You're so far disconnected from the lane that you can kind of, not really feel the pressure.
It's probably one of the rarest heroes that can actually stand up to him, right? Like just keep your distance.
But always against a sniper, I guess that means that Gaming are going to need some jump.
Yep.
The Booms Storm Spirit could be a thing that we see in the future.
Yeah, it could be nice. Sniper is really cool because you notice how Drow as well has been picked up a little bit this tournament, but she's suffering way harder in terms of win rate. And one of the reasons I think that is because Sniper has this 1,400 gold shard that allows him to reposition himself in fights that Drow doesn't have. She has to buy 4 staff, and it hinders her item progression. So because of that shard, Sniper just feels so good and nice against his counters. We've seen people picking him into clockworks and not caring too much as a result.
One of the combos that we saw with Primal Beast a lot was actually the Disruptor, and though my eyesight not so great, I think it's in the pool.
Yes, it is available, and if Gaming Gladiators want to play in that win lane go forward style, then they could pick it, but because I think they're conceding a little bit of lanes because of the sniper pick, it might not fit so well into the lineup because they're not ensured a certified win.
I'm running this all down, T.
No, please do.
Do you guys think that Pangolier is still an option? Because both of these teams, they love that Pangolier, and it's highly contested between them.
Yeah, I think anything that has a bit more of a messiness to the fight.
For Fnatic, perhaps, right? Because they have the silencer.
Yeah, okay, I see what you're saying. You can counterplay into that for sure. I think if you can have heroes that like to itemize to deal with global and it doesn't punish them too much. For example, like having to force yourself into a Lotus, but you then don't have the initiation tool, that kind of ruins a hero. But a Pango, you can casually buy it and your skill set is still the same.
I really like the Disruptor ban coming out though, because when you look at an Undying and a Sniper, they're heroes that are not incredibly mobile. You want to center your team fights around the Tombstone. So if you are able to kind of move as a unit and have the glimpse to pull back, right, if you're chasing as a team, that's sort of a really good tool they could have used. I want to see more heroes that kind of enable them to just stick together as a team and not let people get picked off on backlines, because you guys are talking about that potential to pick off.
One issue with Fnatic's opening in regards to their bans, I don't think they've covered enough to secure the Sniper, because Visage is still available, and if Visage gets banned, then there's still like a Batrider, for example, that you can then put on the mid lane. And even though, again, it's had a terrible win rate, it can still just open up the game, and okay, they opt to ban a Bloodseeker.
They're just banning all these heroes that can run him down, right?
Yeah, no, exactly.
That prevents you from running away. Lycan can always catch you. He doesn't care about your shard. And Bloodseeker, if you get ruptured, it becomes kind of difficult to move around, force yourself.
Do you think the Bloodseeker is revealing that Pango you talked about, potentially?
It also could be a very good option for them, right? Like they covered their bases with the Bloodseeker ban.
That's the fun thing with drafts at this level. It's this Bloodseeker ban. They could have seen, okay, guys, we've got 3 or 4 heroes we really want to play against, but let's just ban the Bloodseeker to then force the final ban of Gladiators to, do we now ban the Pango to respect the Bloodseeker ban, or do we just ban the hero that still wanted to ban?
You used to be a coach, didn't you?
Yeah.
Like, this is the coach mentality. He looks 2-3 steps ahead.
So now look at the
I'm like, okay, this ban, next hero.
But like, there's a lot of bait bans. I think, for example, like Puppy, he's one of the best drafters at doing this, where he'll sometimes use a ban where it's like, I'm going to ban a Velo, and it's like, what? What? And then it's like, and then the other team's thinking about, maybe they want an Ursa, maybe they want some Void. It's like, no.
So do you think this Slark was actually baited out ban because Bloodseeker got banned, right?
Potentially.
Usually a counter.
Yeah, could be. Like, again, it's like the Pango or the Slark are the 2 prominent ones with the Bloodseeker. Maybe I'm overthinking it, but it sounds cool.
And usually Fnatic like to leave their offlaner for later in the draft. They could definitely pick it here. It's just, I see in general, a lot of the captains are offlaners and they like to leave their hero for later, just so they have like a better game, which maybe happens here.
Something that I haven't seen from Fnatic, but perhaps is an option as well, is a Nyx. Do you even care about Mortimer's Kisses and a way to deal with that?
Good pick. Especially because in this situation, Fnatic have to pick 2 heroes, so going for like Nyx +1, going for a really reliable offlane duo gives you some strength in the draft, because Gladiators, they've got flexibility for days. The first 3 picks, they could be in any role right now in regards to
we've even seen the silencer offlane throughout the group stage and today as well. Right?
Yeah, so having some like Nyx Death Prophet style, maybe not Death Prophet, but like Nyx +1 big offlane hero could be good.
Oh, they just get their Hawk.
Okay.
This is literally what they like to play.
Yep, same vibe.
Or jabs, it doesn't matter, you play it on 4.
They need to be very wary right now of Faceless Void being in the pool. When you have a Snapfire, it's the damage you want heroes to now be kept in place for you to get that damage out, and Faceless Void is a hero that's very good at that gap close versus the Sniper. He's going to be able to get away from the Tombstone, he's going to be able to get out of the cogs. It's a very scary looking hero right now.
It's something that they play quite a bit, right?
Yeah.
Like on the side of gaming.
So I want to see something right now that can deal with it if that's what Gaiman want to go for.
Diamond Gladiators turn to Templar Assassin.
Yeah, not bad. Especially like if you want to turn up the tempo against them and make sure they can't just go for later game carry.
So are we thinking Armal sniper? Are we thinking Raven sniper here? Because they played it in both positions before, right? Like even, I believe they prefer it on the mid lane.
Yeah, I'm just checking now. Their previous victory against TSM, they did put the sniper in the mid lane. They put the TA, same combination, into safe lane. Hero-wise, they have at least 3 of the 5 same heroes that they previously played at TI. Yeah, lanes are pretty open in regards to the cores, at least, to Fnatic. But I still think that...
By the way, wild idea. We've seen a PL win today. He had 0% win rate before. I'm looking at this game. Good against Puck, good against Tombstone, good against TA. Is that an option?
I can't handle... I can't handle 2 PLs in
2 PLs too much?
Like, a K1 PL, that's one thing. But I can't take another one.
Okay. I do think they need to pick something on their last pick that can fight around Roche. Right now, I feel very bad about Gaimin being able to contest the pit. Like, there's no team fight on this team. They can press the global, and they don't have anything that really goes in other than a farm snorkeling or a primal with the blink dagger. It's a little scary right now, especially since they also... if you have a well-placed tomb, it's hard for Snapfire to just walk in and use the Shredder on it, right? That's the idea of her. She's meant to kill the tomb, but it's going to be hard to place it, and then you can't use the kisses.
But overall, when it comes to Morphling, so he brings a lot of armor, decent against TA, right? He can also waveform towards the sniper, so he kind of can deal with him as well. Do you find this a good pick, or is it just comfort zone?
No, I think it's a good pick. I think Gladiators, they've just secured their team fight now in that 20-minute mark of the game. Yeah. Because this Morphling, you come out of lane, let's say with like a Manta or something, or on that phase, you've got a global, a BKB on Beastmaster, Primal Beast, sorry, not Beastmaster. You're just going to be able to enter these fights, and Fnatic, what's their stun? What's their team fight, their initiation? It's pretty non-existent. They can fight around a tombstone maybe, but they're now replicating that. This final pick from Fnatic, it needs to be that initiating team fight kind of central hero to allow the big physical damage from TA and Sniper to be unlocked.
I'm only afraid about like a 15-minute Deso Tombstone Roche taking timing.
Yeah.
That's all I want for Gaimin, to be able to put a stop on that. Otherwise, I think Fnatic can run away from the game before Morphling is strong enough to fight back. But the hero's really good. This Axe build has been popping up really hard recently. Yep. It steals stats from the target. It also steals like extra depending on the attribute.
It makes your carry cry as well, right?
Yeah, you have 2 Agi carries on Fnatic right now, so you're taking away their Agi as well as like 70 attack speed, I believe it is. So it really like nukes you super hard in these fights and makes you super sad.
And when it comes to the team fight that you called for, Tiga, Tidehunter has been banned out. Is Mars an option? What are they going for here? They just got to Visage.
Okay,
all forgotten.
Fnatic wants to play a pretty strong lane. They got really decent lanes. Get that first version, like Sheep mentioned, and then try and end the game. They want to end the game before this Morphling
before he even gets that.
Exactly.
Perhaps.
So this mid pick from for Boom, it needs to be a kind of map playing hero, something that just kind of unlocks the game for everyone else, like cheap fight skirmishing, and just buy time for the rest of his heroes to get into the game.
We talked about Pango earlier. I would be okay with something like that. Get that defusal timing, just fight and rotate. If you can have your support come in and smoke you to side lanes, that would be very ideal. It kind of sucks as well a little bit for Gaimin that they don't have very...
Oh, yun lang, nag-bop. Nakaw.
Top of Sniper also deal with the layers of Visage.
One option they have is just put the Primal Beast onto mid lane, pick up another hero for Ace, because you already know that Undying Sniper should do pretty well with Primal Beast. Just shove that into mid. You're going to farm anyways, and then pick up an offlaner that can maybe apply a little bit more pressure, and then just give yourself some wins in the lanes.
There's so much push, man. This is so scary. But I just don't think they handle this well at all. Like, both their supports are pretty bad at clearing like birds and stuff as well.
Do you think they just go boring and go for like an underlord offlane or something? We're just going to push the waves out. We're going to wait some time.
Like, I've heard the same idea so many times.
Show Ace some respect there, please.
No, I just think versus any team that has Visage, I've heard this same idea so many times. Get the stable. They go with the first. All right. I think this makes a bit more sense because it gives you at least this opportunity to outplay them in the mid game. You're not just backing off, farming up and waiting for them to start their snowball. It actually gives you that playmaking potential earlier.
How many Aegis stills will we see in this game from Boom?
None.
Sheep? None. Blizzard?
None.
Okay, I'm going to say 1. James?
I was taken away by voices in my head. It wasn't production, I've just gone mental. But yes, ask again.
How many Aegis stills will Storm Spirit get in this game?
I'm going to say 0.
So everyone doesn't believe him. I said 1. All right.
I think it might be a little bit too much on Storm because, like, sure, you want to take in the Primal Beast.
Yep.
But then if it goes wrong, you've committed 2 heroes in that situation, and then it could all just, you know, blow up in your face. So hopefully they don't get in a situation where they need to put that much pressure on the Storm.
That's a good point.
It's a good point. I was pretending to be an analyst as a member. So you've all got 100 Gabens each. You have to spend over 50 on who you think is going to win.
I'm going to give 57 Gabens to Gladiators.
Okay, so slight in favour.
58 Fnatic.
You guys are very down the middle on this one. I want a big prediction here, Sheep.
Well,
100.
I'm a biased
Gavens are worth a lot, by the way.
85 Gavens for Fnatic.
85.
Wait, 100 Gavens on Gladiators. Sorry, I realised
As soon as I add in any aspect of gambling, they all went mental.
GG.
The story continues. Yeah, but we're getting set up, and we'll be heading over to our counters momentarily. But, this is our third best of 1 today. Fnatic or Gaming Gladiators will be moving on, and then of course a little bit later we've got Royal Never Give Up versus Entity to round us off. But the drafts, as you mentioned, you know, you guys really kind of called it what they needed, and it'll be interesting to see how. I think I favour Fnatic a tiny bit. I mean, just from what you've been saying, if that's okay. I know that's against what you said, Sheep. Don't take that.
No, it's fine. The only thing here I'm thinking of is Visit has a very bad base attack time, so maybe they can abuse that lane, but they haven't.
We'll find out. We're going to head over to our casters for this lower bracket match. It's MLP and John Xfire to bring you the game.
Not what you expected. Oh, thank you so much, James. It is indeed MLP Dota and John Xfire. Jonathan, welcome. We are here at TI for this best of 1 series between Fnatic and, of course, the side of Gaming Gladiators. You've seen the draft on. How are you feeling about them?
Pretty excited. Should be a really explosive game coming out here. We see the sniper come out with the TA. Lots of combinations coming from both sides. Primal Beast for Gaiman. And there's a lot going on there, right? Like there's so much aggression that can come out from each side for Fnatic. I think the TA timing, we heard the panel talk about that. You hit that, you run around with the tombstone, you've got a sniper that can just keep hitting away with that minus armor as well. Then you can start to overwhelm. But counterpoint, Gaiman, I mean, they've got that global silence coming in. Once you hit level 6 in your sniper, Primal Beast can really dominate the lane if you can just gap close in this matchup. So if you can get all of those beats going for Gaiman, they can also find that timing. So it's going to be a lot of back and forth. I think the laning phase is key for both sides here.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, in classic SEA fashion, Jonathan, we've got to pause to start off the game. We can't cast if there's no pause happening at the start of the game, so it is a very necessary pause to happen here. Fnatic again against Game, and Jonathan, it's a best of 1. One of these teams has to go home today. It's going to be heartbreaking. Do you favor one team or the other? I mean, the panel was Fnatic favored. What are you thinking?
I think draft-wise, I'd say Fnatic. I do like Sniper. I enjoy Sniper when it comes out. I think with the TA, you've got a very solid win condition. It's just a little bit greedy, right? If they've got to be able to play around that early power, the Undying's going to give them in the laning phase, try to run around at that time and play with the Tombstone, maybe get a little bit of a push going as well once Jabs is ready to go on his Visage. And if you can get that done, your early timings are kind of secure. Again, the panel pointed out, you don't have the best answers for that Visage last game.
It's going to be very, 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 very tough. I
think we are going
to get underway once again. I do believe game is unpaused. We should be getting into it very, very soon. Jonathan, game 1, of course, it is a best of 1 series, so there is only 1 game to go. But let's see how this one pans out. Fnatic against Gaming Gladiators. They do get started. You kind of pointed out the fact that they don't have the greatest way of dealing with the birds this game. What do you think they do with that? Like, how do you deal with the business?
You just gotta try to focus down to hero. You've got good jump coming in from your Storm. You've got follow through from the Primal Beast. Even the Morphling, once he has something defensive, can help out too. Just try to get some vision on the backline. That's where it gets tough. I mean, you're up against a Clockwork. Visage is going to be scouting around as well with his familiars. So if Fnatic just plays around that informational advantage, it's going to be hard to find that angle for the Gladiators. But if they can sneak that Storm across, you don't have the best lockdown here either from Fnatic to keep that Storm in.
Very, very true. We are looking to stare each other down right now. Genuel and Boom just having a look at each other across the mid lane as the stickers are going to come down here from Armel. Very, very cute kind of doggy there in the mid-river. Celery going to show up as well on the silencer just in case. But I highly doubt we see a level 1 team fight to break out here. So both teams kind of sussing each other out, making sure no sneaky wards go down in the mid lane. Bot side, looks like Fnatic should have this one under wraps. And top side, you do have DJ on the Clockwork. He's hanging around, seeing if he can try and sneak this boundary away from Tokun's. Rachio but they are going to show up and just kind of bully him away. DJ just going to walk his way up. It's going to be a 3-for-1 trade anyway. Raven the only one to pick up the banner in for Fnatic.
And nice little bonus coming out for Gladiators, of course. Just having a little bit more into that initial bottle build-up is going to be really important for Boom in his matchup up mid, up against that Sniper of Armel. So we do get the Sniper Storm matchup that you don't get to see too often. That does feel a little bit more playable for Armel here. I think the first 2 levels are going to feel pretty good. Level 3 is going to be nice as well. For Boom, rune control is going to have to be key. I mean, you just can't walk up and harass Armel. Even if you've got that double Overlord charge at level 3, if you want to go for that play, can be a bit tough. Maybe you see some rotations come in. Rotation out from Sniper, maybe get from the Silencer, get a little bit of a slow going. You can try to bully it if Armel just kind of overextends it.
Yeah, it's a classic Storm Spirit. I mean, any Spirit Brother, really, it's just all about the power runes in that 6-minute mark, and we'll see if he is able to secure it. Of course, down at bot lane, Celery going to be there on your position for Silencer. Genuel going to be against him on that +5 Undying. And you are going to have, of course, the cause of the Primal Beast. The top lane as well, of course, Tofu. Going to try and chase down DJ here, as DJ does actually manage to get the pull away on this creep wave. He's managed to keep the aggro as well. Looks like they aren't going to bother trying to follow him down and punish him for this either. Just kind of let him go. You're not going to really be able to punish too much with the Snapfire.
Yeah, and this is a really good start for Fnatic. You get that level that you need on DJ, start to work towards level 2, level 3, get jabs some solo EXP as well. Once you do manage to chase one of them down with the battery assault, and you're just going to get so many charges of that soul assumption, it should be easy to chase them down for a kill.
Absolutely. Of course, Raven against Ace here down at the spot side, John. Do you think the Primal Beast gets a lot of harassment from this TA? Should it be a free lane for Raven, or should it go the other way? Should Ace have the free time?
It's going to take a few levels for Ace. Like, you can try to melt down Raven. John Yuel's doing a great job of being that distracting force, because obviously with the Silencer, you can just stop that decay spam out by constantly applying that Arcane Curse. John Yuel is ready. I mean, he's got 5 mangoes on hand, so you can play that game for a long time, and as long as Ace can't get on top of Raven, he doesn't have that angle to just trample in and run him down and melt through that refraction, you're pretty safe to just farm here, as reflected in the CS.
Yeah, some starting builds just never change with this damn Undying. You're just always spamming mangoes. It's just the way to go, especially with the nerfs that happen with the decay. As Januel waiting for the double, but not going to be able to find it. Just go ahead onto Ace, take some of that strength away, but it is giving Raven a very free time here. This bottom side to just keep that free farm going. You could say the same thing about the mid lane as well. Like, you've got this sniper who's really just not taking any harass. You kind of talked about this already, but Boom can't really do too much on the Storm Spirit up until maybe that level 3 mark, but even then it's pretty tough to close the gap on armor.
Yeah, it's just not range that the Storm can really play with up top, though.
Tofu, get the cookie away, we'll be just fine. DJ, you want to keep up with the Snapfire, but we'll force the Morphling and the Snapback. It's like, again, even the Visage having a very good time right now at the top side. And in fact, you look at all 3 cores of Fnatic at the moment, they are all top the CS board. So it seems like, at least for now, all lanes have been won. Of course, we are still very, very early into it, and as the levels do go up, things may change, but so far, so good for the Radiant side.
Yeah, they're just working these things really well. I think DJ with his moves Ace run forward.
It's an onslaught away. Genuel not really going to be able to punish him too much. Creep wave his way is mid lane. Raven. Boom are going at it here on the Stormburst Sniper matchup, but again, it's kind of hard for Boom to finish off the job prior to that level 6 mark, so we'll have to leave him be. Meanwhile, top lane, Duraccio, he's going to be just fine to waveform away. So the harass is coming out between this Clockwork Visage laning, so a little bit tough for the Morphling just to juggle that strength in the edge. Make sure he's got enough HP to get through the Soul Assumption, but for now doing a fantastic job here as the Clockwork as DJ. Continue the chase onto Tofu, will not allow the small camp pull away. Very, very annoying for gaming Gladiators. They just can't reset the creep equilibrium at this top lane.
Yeah, it's a really good place from DJ, just holding this lane so well, giving Jabs basically a free lane, 15-7 CS, and keeping the Duracho just super underfarmed. I mean, the Morphling's not the happiest hero going into the jungle, does need a lot of time to get that build up, so slower laning is for the
It's going to be a lot of damage onto Boom. He's trying to make a run for it, but the headshot is kicking in as now DJ going to show up as well. Boom, he's just going to put the hand up, Fairy Fire out, he'll survive. Just barely, as bottom lane. Tombstone dropped as well, Januel. Be able to really keep that one alive, so Celery, go ahead and take that down and make sure Ace does survive. First blood yet to be drawn.
Yeah, just playing, poking, and prodding in this lane.
Mapatay na yan, habang wala pang
He's still
SS
level
yan.
5 here. Boom can't get away from
Nice.
it. No, he's going to be able to secure first blood. They'll take DJ's life, but it won't matter. In fact, they even forced 2 rotations into the mid lane.
They have to drag in both supports. The Cogs just burning some of that mana away as well from Celery as he comes in. it's just so much space now on the sidelines. Like the mid's going pretty rough for Boom, but now Jabs has a really free time. Raven's just farming up. You don't quite have the solutions yet, and you kind of have to wait for that Storm to try to work onto that 6. Once he's got the zip around, it's going to be a lot safer to leave him alone. Until that point, I'm just getting to that point for Boom is it's tough with how focused Fnatic is on that lane.
Bottom lane, though, they might be able to trade very nicely as Raven dropping not really too low. He had the refraction charges, so he was just fine. In fact, Ace was the one who took too much damage. He's unable to really deal with the meld strike and the strength steal of Januel. Back their way out here, Fnatic, just 1-to-1. Still, all lanes just going their way. I mean, you look at Durantio back up the top side, and it does seem like he's been able to catch up in terms of net worth and the Morphling, but it is still a rather slow process.
Yeah, it's going to be slow going. He's going to need a lot of space. They need to secure their jungle, buy some time out for Durantio. Left alone like this, and you have perfect control coming out from Fnatic. A DJ, again, just forcing Tofu to chase him down a bit, get some forward vision in that jungle to contest the farm down the line. They're going to have to really use that economy to clear out some control here.
DJ just being an absolute pest, taking the banner away from Gaiman. Once again, this mid lane going to be pressured in. They've got the siege creep there with Armel, so plenty of damage being pumped out. Tofu going to try and sneak away with the invis, but will go for the deny instead, realizing he cannot break the gap in time. Just a lot of pressure being applied onto this mid-tier 1 tower, and Gaiman, they are forced to try and respond to this, but they've left Ace alone down at bot lane, so Raven, he might just get right to work. Ace, he's going to try to back his way out and does juke very nicely. Raven, does he keep going? It does seem like he'll try. Onslaught will be there. Ace, he'll be just fine. Not secure the kill. Problem being, though, John, mid-tier 1, it's still taking so much damage.
It's just melting. Less than half HP left just from the slow prods from Armel with his little long-range sniper rifle, of course, and there's just no response that the Gladiators have on hand. They just don't have the supports that can really jump onto that hero well. Maybe if you can bring out Ace, that's where you can start to play that game, but it's going to take a little bit of time. He's not even level 6 yet.
DJ again just ready to scout out if necessary. Does see a few stacks being made there by Tofu as he does get a very nice D-ward as well in the mid lane.
Is so big.
Armel just getting right back to work into that mid-tier 1 tower. Just nobody around to defend this. Even Gladiators maybe just accepting the fact that it is going to drop for free basically as Fnatic not intending on backing off. While top lane Durantio, even with these frustrating birds of jabs, just can't really do too much about them. Sperm has returned back into the mid lane here, but it's kind of dire straits as to what he can do to try and slow this push down. He will be enough just clearing out that creep wave, but now Fnatic, they'll just take the stacks instead. I mean, these are just double stacks, but it is something.
Yeah, it's something that you need on Durantio. He's going to need that catch-up form. Even Boom is going to be enjoying that if he had access, but they just didn't manage to clear out that control. Fnatic sees that opening, shoving in mid, getting a little tension away, and having that room to get that done. They're working this map really well. It's still a very even game, 1-to-1, 1K lead for Fnatic, but these two cores in the sniper, in the TA, are just getting so much more in this game so far.
1-to-1 though. 8 minutes in, a very, very slow game when it comes to the kill board. Teams secure that laning stage. Again, Fnatic seemingly coming out on top, at least for now. Lane even Tofu taking over. Swiffing that XP himself, but they might get going onto that tier 1 once again. Just so important because you are going to be able to infiltrate that jungle as soon as this tier 1's down, and Fnatic, they can choose to be very aggressive with this clockwork and Undying support duo. The GGs, they are going to show up. Who do they jump? Nice clicks away from DJ, not going to allow them to jump the sniper, so instead they'll try to go after Januel, but he's a tanky boy. He's not going to drop that quickly. His Ace is going to keep moving in. Pulverize will be there, and they will at least find the Pulse 5 Undying.
Yeah, it's a kill. It's not the one you want. Really good timing out from DJ with those cogs to break off that jump in from Boom, and it's so many heroes down mid. You're only really leaving Durantio alone to farm, and even that solo lane up against Gabs isn't giving him much. Like, I like what I'm seeing from the Gladiators. Level 6 up on Boom, they want to make a play. They have the level 6 coming out from Ace as well. They're going on Jabs.
Yeah, they've got a great target, Jabs. He's a high value target right now on the Visage, so Celery is dropping rather quickly, but they do at least find Jabs. It's a nice trade. It does cost you quite a few hero rotations, but you've got to get something done.
Yeah, it's some punishment at last. Because that lane was just left alone for so long. They just ignored Durantio and just allowed Jabs to get that build up. It's finally something coming along for the Gladiators. Big kill for them, giving them some space up top, giving Durantio room to get more than just this Power Treads and Falcon Blade. And the side of Fnatic, well, they've already cleared the mid-tier. So they're more than happy to kind of trade off that way. As you mentioned, my jungle opens up, triangle contestation comes in, and if the Gladiators aren't careful, I mean, you still need some more on Boom and Ace.
In a bit of deep water here, Ace, I think. He's going to get pincered in here by DJ, but he's just going to onslaught away. Still, the Bird's trying to stun him up mid-onslaught, but not quite finding him. He's going to be just fine. Able to stay within that bot lane and keep that farm going. You kind of accept the fact that you can't slow down Armel anymore, you can't slow down Raven anymore, you've just got to try and keep up in terms of net worth, and for now they are at least only 1k behind. So it's not too big of a deal for Game, and just keep buying space for these cores to make their way back in through the mid game. Question is, do Fnatic make their way into that dire jungle now and try to slow them down?
There's some pressure to do that, not too much. I mean, they still have really good control on their own jungle, but their own tier 1's all still very healthy, so they can just kind of play on their side of the river. They're not going out so far. They're shoving in mid, keeping that in check. They've got some good wards to watch. Some angles coming in here from the Gladiators onto that ramp in front of the tier 1 tower bot to make sure Raven's just fine. And they're just kind of using Jabs as bait up top solo. They want them to go onto Jabs. He's already got the drums up. They're keeping an eye on him. They're rotating in for this.
I'm going to try and smoke up the top side. Jabs already in trouble. They might not make it in time. Jabs still dropping. Eventually will go down. Another nice secure here from GG as Boom does take the kill on the Storm. And Fnatic, they're up here, but without the Visage, what do you actually do?
Yeah, it's not the biggest loss. I mean, Jabs is just doing his thing, keeping that lane shoved out, forcing a lot of heroes on time. You've got so much space coming out for your bigger cores in Raven and Armel. Armel now just hanging around. He has the Dragonlance up. Even with just level 1 take aim, with the Dragonlance, you can reach so far away. You're going to need a lot of mana expended out from Boom to find that kill. They will smoke up in the Gladiators, so looking for that opportunity here.
Yeah, they've got the Arcane Rune still going here on Boom, so very nice timing for them to try and make the jump in, but DJ is prepped, in position, ready to break the smoke, and will take the gank. Beast for now, still making a run away. Hookshot away is going to be there as well. DJ, going to be just fine. No cooldown on the hookshot anyway, he won't mind that. Not beating any more kills away, but now Armel's been caught out. That's a much bigger target, and they do find it. Boom with a perfect zip in as DJ. He's not out of the woods yet either. He's going to drop to the way of Game and Gladiators, and Fnatic, they just don't have an answer for it.
I mean, look good. DJ managed to sneak away, but it just opened up this path towards Armel. And suddenly the Gladiators, they're the ones taking aggression here. They're lined up for that top tier 1 tower. Really good use of the bottle from Boom with the Arcane, just giving him enough mana to play so far in. And just no control coming out from Fnatic. We saw a TP coming in from John Yuel, but the Undying at that point couldn't really contribute.
Very, very rough affair here. Fnatic just kind of trusting Raven and Armel to keep that farm going, but again, Game and doing a fantastic job of applying the pressure now. With that terrible start they did have after that laning stage, they just seem to be able to apply the pressure much better with this Storm. Boom doing a brilliant job of just rotating constantly and relieving the pressure off Duraccio here and Ace as well. 13 minutes in, 2-6, very, very slight net worth lead for Fnatic. May not last long either, as you see Game, and they are starting to take stacks away. It's going to certainly impact the gold income of Game, and there's nothing to stop them. You can't really get that deep quite yet.
No, you're just building up on Fnatic's side as well. It's really allowed Duraccio to catch up. Number 3 net worth, not too far behind from Armel after that pretty slow laning start. With Jabs and DJ just kind of bullying out that lane, he's got enough room to have his impact. There are some key timings coming out here, though. Raven, he's leaving his options open for the... he is going for the Deso. So that timing, again, when you have that Desolator with the sniper ready to back you up, everyone just melts. It's a lot of physical damage coming out. They are lining up bot here.
They are. Ace going to be targeted. Does have the onslaught, but a nice hook shot. DJ is there in time to cancel as he does go for the Conch Battery Assault and will not allow Ace to be able to get his way out, but now Boom, he'll be just fine. He'll zip away as the rest of the team do make their way over. Game it. They want to try and force a fight.
Wala na ulit akong mirror.
Yeah, they rotate in, try to find something to counteract, but Fnatic just managed to burst down really quick. Great use of the hook shot coming out from DJ to cancel off that onslaught. And this is just, again, space coming out for Armel. They're starting to play behind Raven when they see the opportunity to do so. They know he's got pretty good damage coming out, very hard to melt down when he has that refraction up. And just get that build-up you want onto Armel. Like, once the sniper's ready to go, he's playing really forward in the jungle right now, on the opposite side of the map. They just don't spawn him. They're forced to respawn elsewhere.
Absolutely. You see the Gaming Gladiators still trying to find some targets in that Radiant jungle. They just run into the Genuels Undying if they're not too careful, but I suppose they'd like that right now. Any kill they can get. You'll see Boom just on towards that Witch's Blade, and it's just such a nice little power spike for the mid-storm once you do have that up and available. Meanwhile, Jab's going to start that top tier 1 tower, and of course with the Visage you can just kind of do this by yourself. No help necessary here for Jabs, he'll get it done. So just side lane towers being traded. Fnatic still an advantage in terms of map control right now, considering they did take down that mid-tier 1. Dyrachyo though, getting rather low, just end up taking the Tombstone and Undying Morph for himself. Instead of committing the Tombstone, however, and might just mean they can't really go for the mid-tier 1 themselves now.
Yeah, just have to farm where they can. They've got decent enough vision on that bot jungle for Dyrachyo to kind of play in this area, keep getting that build up. You're also inching towards that BKB here for Ace. That's the big one. Having that safe initiation from the Primal Beast should allow them more opportunities to have zoom in.
Onslaught's there, they will connect. Ace is all over it. It's now the global silence. Just to make sure nobody can help Jabs out, they will shut him down once again. Seems to be the game plan of gaming. Just make sure the Visage does not have a good game. Your problems are kind of relieved later on.
Yeah, that's two big ultimates.
Boom, he does get caught out. Pushback is nice with the cookie. Tofu going to be there in time to save the day. Fnatic, they had started Roshan, but it doesn't seem like they're interested any longer.
And that's the key timing for Fnatic. The Deslo is fully up on Raven. They want to clear out that Rosh. Not finding that kill, and Boom always leaves that threat of a reset and zip in, so they're forced back. They can't really fully commit for the objective. It's not that low anyway, so there's no chance for the Gladiators to come in themselves. And again, the Gladiators just doing so good in finding these openings for themselves. 3-7, less than 1k lead still up there for Fnatic, but they're getting some really good breeding room out for Dyrachyo. They're getting some great utility out from Ace and Boom. They just know they've got this early timing they can play around with.
Well, the question I was about to ask you as well, John, do they keep going for this Roshan? Like, does Fnatic really want to try again? And the answer is currently yes, they do. With the Desolator timing on Raven, they feel very, very strong to try and do this. Pop the Flesh Golem as well here from Januel. What the play will give all the vision.
Nice.
Be enough. Fnatic will take a very quick Roshan for themselves as Gaiman. They just don't have an answer for it.
They just don't have the vision for it to kind of spot that out as well. So freebie going out for Fnatic. Secondary life up for Armel. Our sniper starting to lag a bit behind in comparison to Dyrachyo, but at this point in the game, it's Raven that you should be worried about. Like the Dragonlance and Deso up, working towards possibly that BKB next, maybe a blink to just jump the back line, and you start to feel really good on Fnatic. You start to find a way to take these fights yourselves, because you don't really have a natural initiator outside of just DJ jumping in. And if you can't find that angle, no one can
go again. Boom, he'll make the jump in. Januel though, very nice position to make sure he tanks the gank. Hookshot was there from DJ, but it's off the mark. They're not going to be able to counter-initiate. You had Armel and DJ trying to move their way up through the mid-river, but just unable to land the hook to get the team fight started.
A bit of an unfortunate miss. They were all kind of set from Fnatic to counter-fight in, but the Gladiators were also really heavily grouped up. So it would have been a bit of a big back and forth kind of push. I guess with the Aegis on Armel, you feel a little bit more confident if he was around the area. Unfortunately, wasn't really there to try to make use of that secondary life. And the Gladiators keeping things smooth as far as it can go. I mean, they still haven't been able to equalize the map fully with a tier 1 tower for Fnatic still standing mid. But this aggression, it's getting a bit tough for Fnatic to control. Like, the moment they see Boom zip in, they don't have control.
This is an interesting position from
Aba ng bawas, oh.
He seems confident to try and secure the kill onto Celery. Still trying to chase him down. Celery is able to get away, but now Tofu is the one in danger, but he's going to be okay. Just walk into the fog. By that T2 tower, he'll be just fine. Fnatic just very confident with the double damage rune that was there on the sniper, but unable to really find anything for it.
Yeah, no level up yet on the Assassinate Rider, so couldn't really clean up. Even with the vision available, managed to bail themselves out in Gladiators. And every single fight you kind of ditch like that, you feel pretty good. The sniper's not firing. He's not really doing much in the jungle. They're not pushing any objectives here on Fnatic's end. You're just going into this investment on Dyrachyo. And he's number 1 in effort now. He's managed to catch up from all this space. He's also going for the Ags as well. It's going to be scary once that's off.
A little bit low on mana here. He is the Storm, but he is going to be just fine to TP up. They got the vision, but they weren't in range for a hook shot, so he's going to be just fine. They're continuing to try and bully Game and Gladiators out of this map, but look at that net worth on Dyrachyo. He's getting bigger and bigger on this Morphling, and that's going to be a very, very scary timing here from Game and Gladiators and Fnatic. You kind of wonder if they're getting enough done with this kind of Visage draft.
I think they are. It's really not Visage-centered. It just feels like you're playing along with the potential of Raven and Armel, and you get the benefit of faster push from Jabs or Deso. They will go for that smoke play now. They've still got the Aegis for 2 minutes on Armel. might get a good sneak around here, but they don't quite have that forward vision in the triangle to really play with.
Got the traps. They'll get a ward down on the high ground. Gladiators immediately just backing their way out. They do not want part of this team fight. Not on their terms.
naman ng mga pakiramdam nitong mga to.
But he'll move in and see a double stack for himself, so he'll go ahead and take it for free. There's going to be no contest to come out from Gaming. They're just not ready yet for that big team fight. Understand that with the Aegis up, Fnatic do seem like the much stronger team at the moment. It's just the game right now. Just continue to evade the side of Fnatic. Just don't force the fight while the Aegis is up. And once it expires, you'll be more than happy to move in as Gaming. But for now, if you're not really losing anything, there's just no need to fight.
Yeah. You've got the scaling on hand. You've got really good gap flows coming out from Boom, coming out from Ace.
May iwas eh,
And you don't really need to worry about too much. You can just play on your own terms. You've got the threat of silence. You've got the threat of kisses here. The jump of Fnatic's really just all in on DJ. And if he doesn't manage to find that angle with a hook shot, if he doesn't manage to trap more than one person there or just disrupt that fight in a big way, the tools of the Gladiators just feel a lot stronger. They are getting some push out though, playing with that Deso, playing with that Visage and just how fast they can melt the towers. They find themselves a tier 2 and could open up the high ground if they want to pull.
Yeah. As well as Gaming have avoided the side of Fnatic with this Aegis up, 2 towers have gone down and now maybe even a high ground attempt to come out as Fnatic. They do still have about 40 seconds left on that Aegis timing. So why the hell not? Just be very cautious though as they do eventually back their way out. Not looking to rush this. Again, it is a best of 1 series, so you've only got one chance to try and proceed through to the best of 3s in the lower bracket. Just definitely don't want to get knocked down in this round of 1 if you can, if you're either team. Still securing some farm here onto Rachio, onto Ace. Very confident their late game scaling here on this Morphling. Speaking of that Morphling now, John, the Axe is up.
I have a lot of good forms to turn into the Undying again with the Tombstone and the upgraded Decay is going to feel pretty damn good. Going to be hard to burst down the Racho again, going back to that lack of control. And I like this from the Gladiators. Smoke up immediately with that big pickup on the Racho. They don't have the best forward vision right now, so they might not be able to find that angle, but if they manage to take Fnatic by surprise here, that could be the turning point for them.
Yeah, Gaming, they are going to move in. Oh, it's a 5v5 smoke situation here, Gaming. They're going to move in. Smoke broken onto Ace. Tofu, who'll get started with the kisses immediately as the global silence is there. Onslaught out as well. They do find Genuine, but it's only the pos 5 Undying. In fact, never mind, they found Jabs now. Ace moving right in onto Armel.
Nice,
DJ, he'll save the day for now. The Tombstone is going to be dropped as well. Genuine.
Okay, itong Morphling, hindi na makakalis to.
He's in big trouble. He's going to drop. Oh, they go too far in the end. A very nice buyback there from Januel just to be able to rejoin the team fight off the Tombstone. In fact, they just keep going. Assassinate. Boom. Out of the Tofu.
Nice.
Into the stun now as well. Soul Rip out. Tofu's in trouble. He'll try to run, but eventually does end up dropping. Raven able to secure the kill for Fnatic. Finally, they find the team fight they wanted.
That's some really sick game sense coming out from Fnatic. Immediately smoking up, not seeing anyone kind of take
silence, oh.
Knowing that
that's a big one.
Silence, oh.
He's getting perma-stun. Jabs.
Nice.
Great micro out from Jabs and Raven. Who enjoyed the kill from himself. Tips out.
And this is where it gets scary. The high ground push kicks in. You've got the 15 talent up on Jabs, plus 1 armor corruption to the familiars with the Deso. And this set of objectives just don't last long. Fortify coming out to stave them off. But again, just the game sense coming out from Fnatic. You saw how much commitment came out from the Gladiators. Global Silence and Kisses just to find the Undying. It's just not enough.
That certainly is. So much committal for that pulse 5. And with the buyback available, it's just not worth it. As now Fnatic just getting right back into the mid-tier 2 tower. Durachio does end up falling behind once again in terms of net worth. You keep trying to force a fight here. At least looks like for now he'll morph into the sniper and just try to force them back with the shrapnel charges, and that's going to be enough. Fnatic, they'll walk their way out just fine. They might just have to take a bit of time here. I'm not sure if you smoke again straight away. Just want to secure a bit more farm up on your cores before you do get going, especially considering how that last team fight went. I mean, mind you don't have the buyback on the Undying anymore, so maybe you could force a fight not worrying about that, but it still seems risky.
Yeah, it's still a massive risk. It does feel like you're going to need a BKB up on at least the Racho. Maybe ideally you'd want it on Boom as well, just so you can get that safe initiation out. And you can't always start with a Primal Beast. You don't have that Blink Dagger up on Ace, and he's got the BKB, but onslaughting in is pretty telegraphed, so it can be tough. And we've seen it before. DJ tends to be ready to just interrupt the pulverize when it does kick in, or when you try to look for that angle here. So you need more of that spell immunity up. You need more of those BKBs. That's going to take some time. And Fnatic, with the ground they've gained on this map, you don't have that much room to get all of these cores farmed up to that point.
Absolutely. Both teams once again just hanging around their side of the map for now. No vision on the side of Gaming Gladiators at the moment, who have grouped up just a bit. There's a team in that mid lane. It's going to be all about the next Roshan for both these teams. There's now even a BKB to come out onto Raven, so it's scary at times against the TA. That Magic community, it's very hard to be able to try and burst him down throughout these fights. And so much of your damage is just negated through that BKB. They're now going to show up mid-river, try and force something here. Traps are out to give any vision if they do need it. Raven is hanging around, but again, he's a very challenging target now with the BKB up. He will show up, maybe trying to bait a fight, but Fnatic, very composed, not going to try for it.
They just play it safe. They know they've got a pretty good stand on the map. They know they don't have to take these risks. They could just keep farming up a little bit more. They get big timing on DJ up with the Ags running. So the overclocking's up, way more damage coming out, way more utility from the Rocket Flare. And if they can work their angles really, really well. Side of Gladiators, they just need to kind of build in. Maybe if you find that opportunity to jump, you go for it, but immediate overclock, immediate flares with that smoke out here from Fnatic.
Absolutely, such an annoying agony tip that I have to try and go against here. DJ just going to continue to spam out and get so much vision.
Jeez.
That's a lot. Game, and they just can't escape the rocket flares, and now Tofu is going to get jumped. Just fine though with the cookie. He will be able to break the gap away from Raven as they do move into that mid-tier 2 tower. Nothing to defend. It's a game and they're kind of stuck onto their high ground now. Maybe hoping for a high ground defense.
Nice.
I mean, you could still try to defend the top tier 2 tower. It just feels a little bit rough, especially considering Roshan, it is coming up rather soon.
They have to go for a play though. Going for that smoke out. Maybe they find a good angle here. They don't quite have the best vision again on that jungle. So they could get a good, if they manage to get a good flank here, it would be big. It's just that Johnny Walt's the one's hanging back here.
Here we go. Indiewell going to be spotted. He'll take the gank, tries to drop the tombstone in time. Be able to get it as they do global silence, and Genuel will drop. That's one. Now Ace in trouble. He's a much bigger target, just getting stunned up, but does manage to cookie away thanks to Tofu. The shot is out. There's no boom in the storm. He's still going to be able to zip away, but he's out of mana. He is out of mana, but where's the backup? It's not there yet. In fact, Armel, he was getting to work. Assassinate. It'll fight through. Does find boom on the storm. Not the worst fight for Fnatic, but not the best either. They do give 2 kills away for that. Both supports going down for the mid-storm. Gaiman, they'll be okay with it, I think.
Yeah, it's a really nice back and forth. Again, they jump onto Johnny Wall. He's the one to break the smoke. He manages to get the tombstone right before the global silence in a really good spot on that cliff. Like, only Boom was focusing in on that tombstone. It took so long for him that DJ found that opportunity. So it's a good play coming out from Gladiators. They need to get something done, but again, they're finding the wrong targets. They're always getting Zhao first. They're always having to blow at least one big ult first.
You see the replay here. I mean, you find the Undying, but he won't mind. He just gives so much information away to his team, and well, Ace just couldn't really walk away, sadly. He's forced the BKB up, and luckily Tofu was there to save. DJ once again, just fantastic with the hookshot, finding the storm. Just completely out of mana, and something you didn't really notice, John, but from the low ground, Armel, he was just getting right to work onto that Storm Spirit. The Assassinate just barely had enough damages. Now, well, Gaiman, they're trying to force Roshan, but hookshot is there, DJ. Once again, trying to force the fight. Ace with a very nice onslaught. And boom, they're onto jabs. They're trying for the Visage, and they might just have him, but jabs. He goes into that stone form. He'll survive for a bit longer. DJ, he will try to back his way out of the stuns around back to Rachio. He's the one in trouble, trying to back his way out, but Jabs is on the chase with the Familiars. In they go. Do they have the damage? They've got the stuns out of Raven. He'll melt them. Rachio still trying to run. Still in trouble. He's going to end up going down.
Patay na to, wala nang BKB ano. Nice, wala nang BKB yan. Bagal tumakbo.
Can he find a way out with the onslaught? He'll go for the onslaught, cancel and go for the
nice.
TP, but it's not going to work. Oh boy.
They managed to find Armel in the back. They get some good punishment for their trouble there in the Gladiators, but it cost them so much. Diracho just being taken away, the Morphling being a key component of that late game scaling, just isn't able to hold its ground. Jabs is just way too durable. Gets the Wraith Pact off, has the Ag Shard up with a Stone Form, and that times so well here for Fnatic. Rosh up, you've got the TA, you've got the Visage. It still doesn't take too long, even without that sniper.
Certainly doesn't. Again, Roshan happening, but with the Ags up on the clockwork, just
so annoying.
You can't make your way over.
Can't stop it. Like, it's giving so much information out, and the Gladiators just don't have that same information to play with. Like, they've been lacking some ward vision for a while. They've got some watch in the Rosh pit, but again, it just melts so fast with that damage from Raven and Jabs.
A lot of damage. Another Aegis to go the way of Fnatic. That'd be the second one of the game for themselves, and 9k ahead now. A very powerful position for Fnatic. The game in general, what do they need to do here? I mean, they're in a very rough position now. How do you make the comeback in this game, number one?
And you've got the BKB up on the Diracho. You had it last time around. You need to get a good jump in. Maybe if you could take out Armel before you lose your Morphling and then start to focus in onto Raven somehow, and that's how it kind of shapes up. Get a good jump on. Don't jump Jabs or John Yuval. Because those two, they don't mind being targeted, especially Jabs. I mean, he's just so durable. And John Yuval, as you mentioned, just gives information. You need one of these two bigger cores to drop first from the side of Gladiators, and it's going to take some good vision game coming out. But as you see, DJ just keeps spamming out those flares out, and you just can't stop it. Like, he's just getting so much more out.
It's kind of obnoxious how much vision it gives. I think we saw in an earlier team fight, it almost just killed Celery off with those rocket flares. Very, very scary indeed. It's Fnatic. 9k ahead, moving their way through the top lane. Might try to force a high ground team fight now. I mean, you've got 3 minutes 50 seconds on that Aegis. Plenty of time to try and poke and prod this tier 3 tower. In fact, now a Daedalus up on Raven. Scary times for Game and Gladiators. 10 to 13, 9k lead once again Fnatic. They're going to move their way over that tier 3 tower. It's just not going to last too long. They'll be forced to clip it up. It's going to be enough for now. Fnatic going to overstay their welcome. They do back their way out, and Gaiman, they're just trying to find any kind of space in the map that they can right now.
Yeah, just play where they can, get some build up while they can, although.
Yeah, he gets spotted. The touch from Raven. Ace, how do you find your way out of this one?
Silence.
He's going to land another beautiful hook as Ace is forced to BKB up, try to run his way up the Meld Strike. Going to follow him down as
Silence.
This man alone. They've got the Primal Beast as well.
It gets some space on the map for the Gladiators right now. It's giving them some room to get that build up, but
Moonshard.
It comes at a cost. Someone's got to be sacrificed for that opening. DD up on Armel. I love this build from Armel as well, Mike. Moonshard up on the sniper. He's just plinging away. Yeah, like you've got the damage amp coming in from the Visage and the TA. You don't need much yourself. You just need to whack away, especially when you manage to turn on that take aim with a headshot. These heroes will still melt. And again, the jump capabilities for the Gladiators are there, but every time we've seen them jump into that backline, it comes at such a massive risk to themselves. They need to synchronize their jump in with their use of the global silence on these big cores.
Even with the AC up on Jabs now, so even more attack speed here for Armel. They do move into that tier 3 tower. It's completely disappearing. This double damage for an active Armel. He'll just move on to the high ground. The protection of the Tombstone and the Wraith Pact. No, even the familiars from Jabs. Gaiman, they're the ones that need to try and find a way into this fight. But now their bot racks will drop. Just nothing they can do about it. The question is, do Fnatic keep going?
They have no reason to really back off. I mean, you still have some threats out from the Gladiators, but you've got Aegis running for around a minute 40 here. You just take control of the jump. Cut off the resources for the Gladiators, keep all the lanes as shoved out as you can, and swing around if someone overextends. And you've got a really sweet opening with his secondary life on Armel. You're not too scared of that jump in from Boom, of that onslaught out from Ace. And they don't even have a way to position themselves. Like, they just get everywhere. You can't stand it.
Celery, he just can't make his way out.
Pinauuwi na talaga. Isa na lang.
Oh, this is just disgusting. It reminds me of that bounty hunter Tinkerman. You just can't escape the rockets.
It just never ends. And it's just down to the bags. And DJ's just been such a menace since picking that up. Smoke out from Fnatic, trying to get the initiative here. They've got a good fight from the right side if they manage to catch someone off here.
Well, Boom would be a massive target, but they haven't got the vision.
Oi!
In fact, never
mind.
He's in once again with the global silence. Not going to allow them to follow up.
Ayun, bumalik.
A big vortex out from
Wow!
into the trap hole. Now the polarized. Ace will keep the fight going. Jabs is just in that stone form, waiting to just
Okay
go
lang,
back
okay lang,
into
okay
this
lang.
fight. He's
Yan, hindi
completely
makagalaw yung morphing,
surrounded. Should go, but Duraccio copying way too much damage, and in comes Boom once again on the storm. He finds Jabs on that Visage. Is Armel still trying to man up here against Duraccio, but Duraccio is happy to oblige. He's going to back his way out. Familiar's still doing them favors here on the side as Raven is going to TP away, and Gaiman, they find a way to defend.
Hey, hold on. Really great jump in from the side of the Gladiators. That Axe pickup from Boom, turning the tides.
Massive.
That's the coordination we needed to see. You know, get that AoE vortex down, get your kisses out. Really good use of silence here as well to get them that time to re-engage. And the side of Fnatic now, they've seen those tools. They can't afford to stay as pumped up as they once were. We need to be a lot more cautious onto the high ground, as we can see here again.
Yeah, look at this. I mean, Global Silence was just immediately out, saving the day, and now the Vortex. The unexpected zip back in from Boom really paying off, and when you've got the combination of the Trample and the Pulverize, just so hard to survive through all that damage output.
It took them a really long time to kill off Jabs as well, despite all of that. It's just they managed to isolate all of these heroes really nicely, split it up after taking them all together. And Armel, even if he had the Aegis, he had no one to follow through on his second life, forced to back off and just kind of play it safe. They're keeping themselves in this game here, the Gladiators, but they're not able to really push out the lanes as far as they can. You know, it's not an opening for a tier 2. It's not quite an opening for Roshan either. So they're going to have to repeat that. Because despite those losses, Fnatic, they still have the initiative. They still have superior map control, and that threat for the high ground still lined up.
You've got the Scotty now up in the north as well, so Durantio just a little bit tanky and a little hard to deal with here. 16, I love myself a close game done, and right now 7k net worth. Nothing to write home about if you're Fnatic. It's 36.5 minutes into the game, so 6k really means nothing here between these two teams. Sure game, and they are down 1 racks, but still anyone's game. It is a best of 1, so one of these teams do have to go home after this one. Everything on the line here for these two teams. It's been such a long year throughout the DPC. Do smoke up as 4 game, and they're going to try and make something happen, but who do they find? It's just so hard to get the vision advantage against Fnatic's draft. You've got the rocket players, the traps, the shrapnels, just everything working in their favor. But they are still sneaking up through the triangle, but the smoke, we're out soon. They might just find Jabs on the Visage as Ace. He does spot him out and does try for the onslaught, trying to keep up. Does end up finding the Visage, but can't really follow up with that. Just go into that stone form and be just fine, as now the Familiars just going to stun up the Primal Beast. Do they have the follow-up damage here on Fnatic? I don't think they do, but they are still just throwing out everything but the kitchen sink. But Ace is going to be just fine. He will just casually walk his way out.
It's very low commitment for Fnatic to shove you away there. You don't need to throw any bodies forward. Jabs is still really durable. He doesn't mind being jumped on that smoke. The Roger's kind of playing tag, isolated from his team, but the side of Fnatic isn't quite keen to jump onto that Morphling as well. I mean, he's got the Scotty up, he's got a lot of stats, but in Manta he's got a lot of ways of saving himself, so he's a lot tougher of a target for Fnatic to just try and burst down. But they're still getting that build off. They're still number 1 on Raven with that full Daedalus up. They could just wait for the next Roche. It is just around 10 seconds away when we'll see that respawn. Good shove in mid from the Roche, but again, they're not really able to fully commit for that objective yet.
Absolutely. Team's just very, very careful right now. One team fight could just decide this game. You just haven't got the buybacks available. Gaiman, they'll just take over that Radiant Triangle for now.
Oh, it's a quick Roche.
It's certainly a very quick Roshan here. It's should be in the favor of Gaiman. They're in position for this one, and Celery seems to know he might just get lucky. 5 seconds to go. We'll see if Fnatic can try to spot this one out as well. You do have the advantage, the rocket players, to fly in from DJ. They are focused right now on the mid-tier 2 tower. And there's your Roshan. Gaiman. This could be the blessing they've been looking for here. Roshan does start going down, but the rocket players are going to fly out and give the vision. Question is, can they make it in time? They are making their way over. In fact, Roshan is being abandoned right now as Gaiman. They do not have faith they can take it in time. Fnatic to immediately make their way over, and just with this rocket flare spam, it's so hard to try and sneak Roshan away.
It's just so much damage coming out, and the hero's not even close by. Like, they whittle away, they know it's such a risk if that angle is found by DJ and they just get sucked down at the Roche. They do have good counterplay in the pit though. And the AoE Vortex is still ready on Boom. And you've got the kisses to back you up. Global Silence is ready to go as well. So Fnatic, it's not an easy call for them to commit to this one either.
They just picked up a side device here on the TA to boot. Raven maybe a bit of a surprise reveal here with this Hex, but they're going to get started on the Roshan. It's already less than half an HP away. Game, and they're going to fight with both. Tofu! He's just going to drop. The Rocket players get it done. DJ able to snipe a kill there, and they find Roshan. Well, what can you do? You try to run, but the Rockets just keep chasing.
It just doesn't stop. You get the full Ags out now as well to pass over here on the side of Fnatic. I mean, you're feeling great. You get the Ags onto Jabs. He's got the Silences to Grave. He can sneak around to the back line now. They've got so much damage. And the damage from DJ, I mean, he's standing further away than the sniper. He's got so much long range here from Fnatic. They're just barraging the side of Gladiators with their spears.
Game, and again, not out of this game, but they're an Aegis down now, Cheese down as well. Fnatic, they're going to make their way over. They can move up to that high ground once again.
Gold lead.
One good team fight, and this game is theirs. Gaiman, they still have an opportunity to try and turn this one around, but they need that good team fight to go their way. Not going to be that easy, though. See the split push here from Ace. Primal Beast for the top lane is being forced in now. We've seen how fast Armel can take these towers. Mind you, last time he did have a double damage rune, to be fair. It's still a very painful process for this tier 3 tower, however. Just standing from a mile away and there's just nothing you can do.
Like, these towers just melt with that song that's great. Once you break that invis, the damage is ridiculous.
Jump in,
silence then.
There's a side device out from Raven, locking down the storm, so they do find at least the Aegis, and boom, he can go for a reset. Not a bad start whatsoever here for GG. With Duraccio, he'll keep moving forward, trying to find the sniper, but needs to back his way out. Just can't deal with the damage output of Armel at the moment. They did have the refraction charges to play with those, so didn't really take any damage. Sturm gonna move in again, but a quick BKB out Armel, this time ready for it, but instead they found Raven on the TA. He goes down, Lee Celery, he drops as well, but they do have the buyback, and now Ace in the backside with the pulverize into the Vortex. Boom, just setting up perfectly. What a Vortex out from Boom.
Yeah, he makes it work. He finds the angle back in. He knows that the BKB out on Raven is gone. So he can just punish that TA, focus in, no secondary life up on Armel, and they just melt down from that damage. Like, the control came out, and they didn't have global silence. That's why Fnatic might have felt a little bit more confident to hang around there. But they still don't have a way of really punishing Boom when he does manage to get that jump in. I mean, they have the Hex, but the Storm, being aware of that, can just zip a little bit further away and just be safe.
Now suddenly Gaming Gladiators back into this game, only a 3k advantage, no Aegis to worry about. They do move onto the high ground, the tier 3 tower, in big trouble. Duraccio, he'll get it started. They'll force the glyph out, but it's not going to mean Duraccio backs off. Nobody's brought back, nobody's respawned quite yet from Fnatic, so the map is completely free for game, and it's been such a long time since they've had this kind of opportunity on the map. They do force out another glyph. Down towards the bot side, Duraccio goes. He wants 2 lanes for his trouble. Question is, does he even find one? Because the respawn timers are running a little bit low, but it seems like they do find the mid-racks while they can. Duraccio will find that bottom tier 3 tower. Onto the bot racks. It's a very quick process here for Gaiman. 2 racks is up. They'll be very happy with that. No need to rush any further. They'll back their way out.
Now the Gaming Gladiators are in complete control of this game. Really good racks advantage coming out. Their team fights coming in. Their scaling's shaping up. And this Duraccio morphling with the Daedalus up, it just does so much damage. And Fnatic, again, they get overconfident. They know global silence is down, but they don't respect the Storm here.
They're just doing such a fantastic job throughout these fights. Just every time the Vortex is up, there's just nothing you can do. And look at this Vortex from a mile away, just dragging everybody in. Just no chance to fight back once the BKBs are gone. And the game, and you keep that up, this game is yours.
Yeah, it's just in their hands as long as they can keep executing. Fnatic, though, they're not going to just lie down there. Smoke out from them. Roshan still a ways off, so that was fairly fresh in the last fight. But if they manage to get the ambush here, it's big. Still, you've got protection now on Boom. He's got his own BKB up. Even if he's caught off guard a bit, as long as he's able to turn that BKB on when he sees Raven nearby, and how do you lock down the Storm? You just don't have much to stop this.
Hesitation now. Fnatic, I mean, they would have smoked up, but they just aren't going to find the opening. Another double damage rune, though, is going to be found out by Fnatic, so Raven, he'll take it this time around. No bottle to stall that one up. He will just pick it up himself. It just doesn't seem like they're going to be able to smoke up and find some kind of opening, however. They're just going to sit back for now and just wait out the perfect time. Problem is now Duraccio, top of the network board, looking very, very farmed up, working on towards that Satanic. He's going to be a real problem once he has that up.
Yeah, he's already extra durable on this here, even with the Scotty up on Armel. It's not like he can just solely dedicate his time onto Duraccio. You've got a lot of room now for Duraccio to dance around on that Morphling. And again, they're just so slippery on the side of Game and Gladiators. Like, you have to worry about Storm, you have to worry about the Primal Beast, you have to worry about the Morphling jumping on top of you. They've got this really good start on the fights for the Gladiators with the Global Silence up, and just don't have that same control. It still just kind of goes down to DJ and Jabs. If they maybe play with their familiars and the hookshot well, that's where the game can start to shine for Fnatic, but that's a lot harder to pull off than just a zip in or an onslaught in with silence to back you up.
Ego again, top side. He's going to hang around his own jungle now, still maybe just trying to search for Fnatic, but they're not around. They creep back into that Radiant Triangle of their own. They do have the opportunity to smoke, at least for now. Raven is going to use his own ninja gear, get his own smoke going, to make sure he can rotate across the map and be undetected by Game. And such an important piece of the puzzle here for Fnatic is that TA, and you just can't afford to lose her by yourself. Game remaining grouped up. Just giving so much information back the way. Fnatic as Gaiman just take over the top side of the map, but they might even start a high ground push.
You've got room to get that done, Chow.
And he will. Global Silence will be there, ensuring they cannot initiate as now Duraccio moving very far forward. Vortex is there. They have found Armel. Hookshot is out from DJ Boom. He's running a little bit low on mana. Still Duraccio. He'll keep moving forward onto the sniper. Do they have the TP attempt will not be enough. They do lose that sniper. Now Ace spotting out Raven, unable to catch him. Instead, Januel going to sit back and make sure Raven does remain protected. They cannot afford to lose this TA right now as Boom. He's going to move in once again onto the Vestige and they'll just take down Jabs. No contest at the moment for Game and Gladiators. It's Fnatic slowly but surely just falling apart.
Those are massive kills coming out for Gaming. They've got the opportunity to really shove in, force some buybacks out. I mean, Armel, I mean, he had just BKBs tries to bail out, but the output of the Morphling is just so high. With that full Daedalus, now with a full Satanic on hand as well, he can just sustain through, again, through that Scotty that Armel wants to threaten with. On the side of Fnatic, they've got to play it a lot more cautious, but the Gladiators, and they're in control now. Clearly in control. 7k up, it's not the most amazing, but it's really just how much Duraccio's managed to farm up and just how well
hirapan tuloy yung kababayan nating caster magsalita eh.
Yeah, absolutely. It's just mamamatay na yan. Game and so far. Seeing that buyback status there, Jonathan. So many heroes on the map right now have buyback. In fact, there's only 2 that don't. In fact, it might be 9 out of 10 very, very soon. It's both teams waiting for that massive team fight where they are going to need to expend them, but Duraccio, he'll at least get started on that tier 3 top tower. Not going to last too long at this rate. They do flip it up. Raven goes
up Ulihin mo, DJ.
Now the
Ulihin mo na, DJ.
From chasing Duraccio. He'll be able to BKB up and be just fine. The zombies continue chasing, but again, it seems like he's going to be able to get his way out. Fnatic not interested in chasing at the moment. They'd rather just keep on their high ground. Don't throw a fight.
Just hold your ground right now. You've got the sniper. You can stall this game out fairly long on that hero. You also did manage to force out the Global Silence from Celery. So it is an opportunity for Fnatic if they get a little bit more info out. Scouting around with DJ and his flares. Next Roche, not too long away here, Mike. 20 seconds away. Going to be the flash point for both sides to kind of fight over to kind of determine this game.
Here we go again. Rocket flares flying out. Getting all the vision. Roshan, like you mentioned, John, very, very close to respawning now. Gaiman prepped for the next Roshan. It's just when you've got this vortex on the storm, it just feels like such a great position to try and fight in. Strong position for Gaiman in that Roshan pit indeed. Well, there's your 4th Roshan now. All the items available. Gaiman, if they can win this next team fight, the game just feels like it's basically theirs. Mind you, you do still have a lot of buybacks on the map. You can still play around if you do end up going down as Gaiman. Wait for that right moment. To start Roshan themselves. They understand they're not going to be able to be undetected though. That's the real big problem. Instead they're going to hang around that Radiant Triangle. Duraccio moves in. They found DJ on the clockwork. In trouble already. Global starts there to back him up and now the Vortex. Boom! Right into the backside. Finds Armel. Finds Raven. What a Vortex Vortex from Boom, just finding all the calls he could ask for, and they do buy back. They've got to try and force the fight right now. Tofu's gone already on the Snapfire, but he will buy back as well. Buyback's being expended. Gaiman will get rid of the familiars from jabs.
Walang bawas.
Armel trying to get to work, but it does feel like he's lacking a bit of damage here on this sniper. They do move in once again to the Vortex. Boom! Just
Lapit lagi ni
They found the
Armel.
sniper again. Armel, he'll eat the cheese up. He'll go for the concussive grenade and try to force this fight the best he can. But where's the damage output? They're still trying. Raven, they'll find Ace at least. Armel, he's manning up. He is trying, but they are down. Both down with that buyback game, and they may have just made the comeback happen.
They've got a really clear shot. They know those two cores just don't have buybacks, having committed it earlier on. Zhao can't do much to stop this. And they go on to that last set of racks. Fnatic, 90 seconds without the sniper, 100 seconds without the TA. That's so much time.
He's going to drop as well, just trying to hide in the tree line. That's it, GG's call. Game and Gladiators. There's a rough half of the first game, but at the end of the day, they make the comeback happen. And well, Fnatic, they tried their best, but they were just unable to close out the game, and a couple bad
Guys, wala tayong magagawa, ganyan talaga. Tatalo, may nananalo.
They really played excellent. They just rushed this Ags out onto Boom, and they played around that so well. Like the SNY Ags build up, allowing them to jump forward, the Sun Kaya build up, and just take control. Like there was nothing to stop him. They get the Hex out on Raven down the line, but he just manages to play it a little bit safer. You know, they bait in with the global silences, they get Fnatic really confident, and it just kind of crumbles. They just didn't have that hard control. They didn't have the same level of team fight. It all basically boiled down to whether or not DJ could kind of find a hookshot angle for the team, and whether or not Jabs could put his familiars forward enough to get some good chain control off, and sometimes that's really hard to find.
It was a close game, but you got to give props to the boys from Game and Gladiators doing a fantastic job making this game one work in their favor, and it's going to feel so good now for them to move into those best of threes now, not having to play these best of one elimination games that are they're just so frightening to try and play, and just too much pressure trying to play those ones out. At least now they are within safety.
It's a smoother ride for them now. They get to move on to the next best of 3 round, so it's going to be a lot better for Fnatic. I'm Southeast Asian team in Southeast Asia. We get Boom. Fnatic unfortunately not able to go on. The Gladiators, as you mentioned, just the better team today.
Absolutely. Well, with that, John, we'll head over to the panel and see what they had to think about this this game one, the best of one.
Thank you, MLP and John X Fire. Another TI-worthy game. 3 Roches to the side of Fnatic. They had the momentum, but it's the Ags on the storm of Boom for Gladiators. It was just turning tides. It was incredible. You know, it is as strong, actually, sometimes as a Tide Hunter Ravage, but, you know, it's just an Ags.
Well, got to start on this. So, Boom, he has just played his 66th game, I think, on Storm Spirit. He's in the top 10 most played Storm Spirits in the world. He has the highest win rate on the hero. He has the highest KDA of all these players. Like, he is literally the #1 player on Storm Spirit right now in the world. And then you give him this hero in 24th pick. He finds those clutch moments. He doesn't get any Aegis steals. That's unfortunate. But yeah, he shone on his star hero.
Yeah, that was the prediction that you didn't nail down.
Happens. Got my Gavins there. It's all good.
I lost a lot of Gavins, man.
So, yeah, I mean, Fnatic, you talked about them as a team. Obviously, we can focus on Gladiators a little bit, but they kind of can do it a lot, but they weren't really just able to close this one out. They were aware of the Ags, right? You know, their second fight in the top. Is it hard? Is it, you know, the clumping up, and is it just the vision? Because they had a lot of vision off Clockwork. They won their 3rd Roche, I believe, just by spamming Rocket Flare. But, like, how could they have adjusted?
I feel like the game just went too long. This is a draft that was built to kind of outscale them. The Morph and the Storm just have way too much like jump at this point for Sniper to be able to deal with. It felt like they had a little good thing going after the 2nd Roche or so. They had like this snowball effect. They were getting loads of vision from the traps. They were hunting people down, but it felt like they just couldn't manage to close game inside of their base for long enough.
If I look at these 2 drafts, and if you ask me which one of these 2 drafts would you like to play more in a best of 1 crucial match, it probably would be Gaming Gladiators, because it's a little bit easier to go late. It's a little bit easier to just hold on to the game, and eventually you will win it. Like Fnatic, they were on a timer, and when you're on a timer, plus you get a ton of emotions kicking in, like, you're bound to make a couple of mistakes, and this one was the perfect mistake for GG to capitalize on.
Yeah, it's just the fact that Gladiators, they have the discipline as well, where even under threat, they found these opportunities to make the plays. Like, Snapfire wasn't always wasting ultimate. You have the Silencer holding global. It's like, my Storm's going in, but I don't have to global because I know he's going to be able to disengage, and then I can use my global in that second or that third kind of iteration of one fight.
Yeah, you mentioned that as well, you know, in the break, how, you know, Storm can zip in, maybe force a BKB, make sure
Guys,
global will be
thank
stronger.
you.
Also, there wasn't much pressure
Fortunate.
on the
Guys,
globals
thank
from
you,
Zoe as well, because it was